Hello, everybody, and welcome to some stat check bonus content. It is officially, basically, 11th edition. We are
It's 11th edition, let's be honest.
much with everyone else. And look, until I know how consolidation works properly, I don't agree that it's 11th edition. But
I mean, it works properly. It just happens to have a bit of a flaw to it.
yeah, exactly. And until that's fixed, it's not really 11th edition to be. But I hope everybody is
The
doing
update's
well.
going to happen 2 days after list lock for
We've all
WCC.
had a wonderful, wonderful time to just exhale, breathe out. Everybody stop. Take a second to just think and thank. Thank goodness we are no longer beholden to Games Workshop's drip feed. That's all that I'm really happy about. Truly, more than anything else, the drip feed is at least mostly gone. Before we get started, I've got two things to say. One, happy Pokemon Champions on Mobile Day to all those who celebrate. I've played way too much of this already for it being 40k 11th edition release day. I've been playing just like when I've been out on my walks and stuff, having a great time. And also, thank you to Ape of Justice 7109 for the £100 donation or super chat. Big up 11th edition hype. With this stream, I can finally have an opinion by parroting things I hear you all say. Happy Pride Month and so long 10th edition. That is strongly how I feel as well. Happy Pride Month and so long 10th edition. We can all be proud that we made it through 10th. I think that's probably the easiest way to do it. As far as structure for today, it's probably just the usual us doing a review stream. We'll talk about them in probably alphabetical order because, well, I don't know if you guys know. I'm just going to show it off really quickly because it is super cool. Is that there's a website now. It's really easy. I can just click on a unit and that's its points. And look, there we go.
The formatting
That's
could
all the
definitely use
points.
some work.
Look, the formatting is
It's at least
there.
readable. When we were writing the reviews for this, the watermarked version of this was not readable.
Yeah, like
It was
this is good.
something interesting.
This is good. This is great. I would like it if there was like a list of like the factions, like units down the side, and you could click it to take you to it or something like that. Like there are better ways you could format this. But for a starting point, I didn't even know you could do this button. This button was eluding me earlier. I kept hitting back, but this
Yeah.
functions and it works. And Legends is toggled off by default, and that is all I really want.
That already is a win on the on
I
that.
didn't know that was something I needed, but I'm glad it exists.
Yeah.
I will
I think
say
it's
the
also
app's
because
search
Legends are now
function.
in the app
Yes.
as well, but again, by default hidden.
The app's search function could use a little work. Someone pointed out that they searched they typed in muster armies and 4 different versions of muster armies popped up. One for doubles, one for singles, one for events, and one for regular list streams. It's like, oh, that's bad. That's
Yeah.
not fun. Don't love that.
Yeah, that general comments before we get into the depth of this. I like everything so far that we've seen. You know, we've had our criticisms over the last little while about these. They really do need to put a filter on the app. We've talked about this before. It's the same thing where if I'm looking for intercessors, I shouldn't see 7 combat patrol entries for
Please let me hide
intercessors,
combat patrol.
and then in the middle of it, the actual intercessor entry.
Please, 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 just let me get rid of let me get rid of the units that are not actually units.
It's not
Right?
relevant to me right now. If I want to play combat patrol, I'll click on the combat patrol part of the app.
Exactly. Wouldn't that be that's too high technology for Games Workshop at this point. Let's
We've
not.
been asking for it for 3 years, so clearly it is too high tech.
We're asking for too much.
Yeah.
Why
I will
why
say,
should we be allowed to not have to
the
see?
app largely seems to work.
Yeah, I've had people telling me that the game version of it's great. I'm probably still going to use tabletop battles for the rest of my life because that's where all my stats are already.
So
But
the thing that I don't like about
we're not on an app review stream. We'll talk about the app on the show next week, or we
yeah,
can just
the big thing that I'm not a huge fan of. There's a few things, but the one thing is I like being able to just go in and play around, and it takes too many steps to actually get a game set up.
sure that's a genuine consideration, right? Like that is an we want the game to not be an embuggerance, right? We want it to just be easy to click thing, do thing,
Yeah.
right? So it would be nice if that was just consistent. You just click button, do thing. Wouldn't that be great? I would be a big fan of a version of the app that did that. So
I will also
points.
add one thing, just
Go for it.
because this is something that people have been asking, and it took me like a hot 10 minutes to figure out. If you want to attach a unit in the app, you click the 3 dots next to the character name, and that's how you attach it. If you want, but if you have a support and a character, you need to make sure that which slot you're selecting, because there is a support slot and a leader slot for units that can have 2 attaches. And the app will kick one out if you select the wrong one, and you wonder why there's an error.
Great. Also, I noticed that when you build your army, you don't pick a disposition on the army building step, and I would like it if it made you do that.
Yeah, I don't quite know why that's the case.
Who knows?
Looking at this and saying, okay, like because I have the app open on my screen next to me. Actually, here we can just share this.
Yeah, I had heard some rumors about previous plans for functionality for how Teams was going to work. That maybe that's kind of where it's come from. Is that there was like a previous version of it where you would maybe have both of them on your list and you would like choose one of them. But I don't know if that's actually bears any if that actually
That would
holds
be
any
very
water.
interesting. Yeah, because for example, if I grab like 3 1 DP detachments for my army that all have different things,
Hmm.
and I hit, and I just hit export, it just shows the 3 force dispositions that are available to me. It doesn't actually like the list doesn't actually. I would have to go in and change it when I submit my list.
Yeah, I wonder if it does it like when when you hit the like submit to PCP button, if it does anything in that space, like it actually does something. But I haven't seen anything
Uh,
yet to indicate that it would.
what browser BCP event? Cannot connect to BCP. Your web browser is not supported. Cool.
Yeah, idiot. Why aren't you using your phone to stream like everyone else?
I am using my phone.
Um,
It's not
I
a
have
real phone, but
one rules question for you, Jeremy, because it's going to
yes.
evaluate how I do all these points. Things I've seen. Is there a CP cap yet or not? I've not found anything that says there is a cap on CP generation yet.
So the only cap on CP Gen that we've managed to find so far in reading through the
In
rules over the
doubles?
last few weeks and the day is in the doubles pack. I
Yeah,
feel like there should be a restriction, and that's an obvious
yeah. I feel like
oops.
consolidating into units should let them engage, but that doesn't
Well,
also
I
that's
also think
also not the case.
that the consolidation check should check based on how far you can move. So like engaging
Look, there's a bunch of stuff
consolidation.
like that. But
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
what that is going to tell me is that anything that generates CP, I think I like a lot better, especially if you can also discard a card on top of it to get even more. Also, I am not looking forward to playing his guard if this is the rule, because how many CP to guard generate if they're like trying? Infinity?
Um, it's
It's pretty
basically
close to
half for
infinity, I
every
think.
strat that they spend.
Yeah. Could you imagine if
So like
Deathwatch
if
still had
before
curve
they had
versions?
3 CP a battle round, they now have 4.5.
To 7, yeah, depending on how good they are at rolling four
Yeah.
ups.
I mean, even more than that, if you think about it, because every single one of those can then generate another one.
Yep, which then they can also use with their free strats, and yeah, they're gonna free strat and
You
free
should
strat and
not be
free
able
strat
to
and
farm
free
CP
strat.
off of free strats.
Look, why wouldn't you be able to, right? So yeah, that will change my evaluation going forward. I'm going to evaluate everything assuming there is a CP cap, but if there's anything that we say that like has a CP thing, we'll mention that it would be nice if it worked properly. All right, I think the easiest way to do this is to just Jeremy. Did you make a spreadsheet, or did someone? Or I think Fireside made a spreadsheet we could potentially
Fireside made
steal.
one. I unfortunately have taken a step back from doing a lot of things
I
this
don't
year, but
blame you in
so
the
shout out
slightest.
to the Fireside guys for putting that together.
Sweet. I'm gonna go grab their spreadsheet and we're gonna go and open that. So thank you to look at this. Static using someone else's content for a change. Um,
Content that was inspired by us. We'll take that.
look, we've never once had anyone use our information before.
We should
Okay,
put a logo on theirs.
I know, right? They wrote it. They put it here. They did a good effort. Okay, so sisters.
Sisters. So, one thing to kind of note. Hey Nick. So Nick James, Art of War's socials guy is here. Apparently I'm just here to give him more meme ideas.
Oh, that's
I
fair.
will give people kind of the heads up. I may not be as energetic as I usually am. I've been having a really rough week pain wise. So for those of you that are aware, it's just kind of
And
the
for
way
those of
things
you who
are.
are finding out for the first time that that was Jeremy when he was energetic, wow. Okay, I think the kind of broad story of Sisters is that there's been a lot of increases on units, but then became a lot more powerful this edition. That's kind of been my broad takeaway.
Yeah.
Miracle dice got a little bit worse for Sisters. You have to sub them in before you roll the dice, so they're a little bit tougher to use in sort of like general use scenarios against big volume fire. They're still completely exactly the same as they used to be against anything that has like lots of guns. Like if you're firing like sorry, they're as bad as they used to be against things with lots of guns, but against like one multi melt or something like that, they're still just as powerful as they always were. So broadly, we've seen not a ton of changes there. But the thing that has changed is particularly Hospitalers gaining the support keyword meant that they would be able to double attach. And with Hospitalers double attaching, that is notably quite good.
And the
When
fact
you
that you can now basically, and this is kind of just a thing that we're seeing with everything, is that every support and leader character can now double attach. We used to have like a very limited list of this is what you can attach to. But now it's, if it's in the support list, then you can double attach it.
Yep. Which is really, really friggin' powerful, I think is the easiest way to describe it, right? Like, this is just like crazy good for a bunch of things. It's not good on everything. There are definitely things that don't use it, but things like Junith plus a Hospitaller, Canoness plus a Hospitaller, it's much, much easier to put another buffer between the Hospitaller and being dead. And with the Hospitaller now staying attached to the unit, it is effectively incredibly trivial to have just like a Sacrosanct squad that holds its power. And you can kind of see that here in the points changes. If we kind of scroll down, the Hospitaller went up 15 for the first two, and then the third one is an additional 15 on top of that. And then we also have the same thing here with Celestian Sacrosancts, OBC, which went up 5 points per 5 models, and then also the third unit went up another 5 or 15 or 5 or 10. So they're significantly more expensive.
Yeah.
Not
The
like in
Hospitaller
a
actually gets more expensive on the second one.
is it? Oh well, Dave wrote
Yeah,
it down.
I'm just looking at the actual MFM, because David did mention that there are some things that are off, and it's the same thing that happens whenever these things are put together, because we always put them together manually. Something is bound to be off
Yeah,
slightly
something just
when we're
gets
doing those
missed because
comparisons.
it's really easy to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, then we've kind of got some broad level changes. Like anything that's like a 5-man squad tends to have gone up a decent bit, is one of the kind of things I've noticed. Like anything that was like 3-man under 50 points has tended to be a thing that I've noticed has gone up in points a decent bit. Just
Yeah.
like, oh, you're not going to get to have a unit that doesn't cost anything anymore, right? Like Arcoflagellants have gone up. And then you see a lot of things where the base unit has gone down, but the gun that everyone played has gone up a little bit. So like the Immolator with multi-melta, the multi-melta now costs 10 points, but the base Immolator came down 5. If you want to play it with the Flamers and the Heavy Bolters. The first Exorcist came down 30 points. The second and third onwards didn't come down, or the third one didn't come down as much. Paragon Warsuits came down, but the multi-meltas went up, so that's a big
Yeah.
move for like, if you were
It's
playing like
very
an
funny
army of
that there's a
Heavy
40-point
Bolters.
difference between your first and second Exorcist.
Yes, it is very funny.
Like, I looked at that and I went, huh. I mean,
Yeah,
I
baseline
get it.
Retributors came
Indirect is less
down.
good, but like the Exorcists actually are pretty decent as just a main battle tank.
Yeah.
And
One
then
of
you
the
look at
things
it and
that
go,
does kind of one of the things I would note with that is like Exorcist specifically were when they were played as a main battle tank was usually in Bringers of Flame, where in Bringers of Flame specifically, you can't advance an indirect at all. Like you can't select indirect fire if you
yeah, that's
advance.
true.
So they do like genuinely call up a change there. So yeah, it's not too bad in an abstract sense. I don't think it's like that crazy. But yeah, like a lot of little changes here. Triumphant Catherine went up 10. She is probably the biggest thing you can hidden. Spamming units of Seraphim, spamming units of Seraphim came up. Like just the baseline cost came up a little bit. Retributors went down 15 baseline, but it's 20 extra if you want all the multi-meltas. Just
So
the
they're
usual kind of stuff here.
the thing that frustrates me about this is that it's a net increase on the units that were already being run in a lot of cases.
Mhm.
Like you look at that and go, oh, the Immolator no, the Immolator actually went up 5. Oh, Retributors went down. No, they actually went up 5 points. And I
Yeah,
get
and I think
I
that's
get that the
fine.
war gear intent is to make it so that there's some kind of granularity in there, and that's fine. But I don't think that they needed to go up across the board like this. And it's not just this, but there's a lot of other armies that saw a similar thing where, oh, you pay for one thing. Well, we're going to make it look like it's cheaper, but actually the whole thing is now just more expensive.
My kind of immediate takeaway with this is that Sisters benefit strongly from the Miracle Dice on the charge phase and will be very strong regardless, and that these point changes are basically
That's fair.
fine.
Being able to be like, I have a 6 and whatever I show, and I can charge into whatever I want then.
Yeah, I think 12-inch heroic is a massive buff for Sisters. Just being able to be like, it's a 4-up, I win the game on the spot if you ever charge in your vol. Doesn't matter what you're charging, just like on a 4-up, the game might just end. Are you willing to take that risk? Is genuinely really stressful. I should probably send a message in the Discord that we're live.
Celestine. The thing that irritated me is Repentia is still 160. Look, Repentia will never be good again. Apparently that they're just not allowed to be.
Repentia were good for like 6 months in 8th edition, and now the game is over.
They have some time in 9th, maybe?
Yeah, maybe. Paragon Warsuits, yeah, came down. Multi-Meltas went up. Mortifiers. The 2-man unit of Mortifiers coming down 10 points is kind of cool. That wasn't a unit you saw a ton. We've got...
Yeah, and it's interesting having a discount on the larger unit. Like, I get it because, if you take 2 solo ones, then that's an extra Miracle Dice as opposed to, and more board presence as opposed to 2 together. So, it makes sense that it is worth less, but it is nice that they're seeing that and changing it.
Yeah. Also, just like the baseline of unit with like unit that screens area now is a little more valuable now that it's harder to screen with just like a 10 man of something. So you do have a little bit more stress for like, okay, maybe I just want you don't want to have like the solo thing be super cheap, but having people have a reason to play a couple of like the unit combined is kind of cool, right? I think that works for me. Yeah, Glorious Heavy Bolter Volgon stocks up. I've seen plenty of people talking about those recently. I would not be surprised. 30 points is a lot to save. All right. Winners or losers for Sisters, Jeremy?
I would say neutral. Maybe slight losers.
Yeah, that's fair. I think they make out very well from the rules changes and slightly negatively from the points changes, and it nets out to probably slightly positive. I think they'll be better than they were at the end of
Yeah.
at the end of 10th edition.
Someone did point out, however, that one of the really funny things is that their res strat targets a character unit that was just destroyed.
Yes.
Which means you
So
actually have to wipe the entire unit to bring back the character.
Yeah, if you
but
precision
it's
out a
also
character,
the
you can't
last
res it.
destroyed model that gets added back.
So if you precision out Hospitaller, they can't res it.
Correct.
It's probably fine. Awakened Dynasty should get a nerf.
Awakened Dynasty targets the character model.
Yeah, well, that's fine. I wish that didn't work as well. I wish all of those stratagems were worse. Yeah, that's all I got. I guess you could theoretically make it so that you just have to pin that model so it can't place incoherency, so it just can't stand back up. That's what you got to do. You got to surround the warriors so that the guy can't get out anyway.
Just kill the unit.
Look, I'm playing terrible armies. I can't do that.
Valid.
All right. Next up, we have Adeptus Custodes. So main changes here. A lot of stuff didn't change for Custodes. A few things went up a little bit. Most of the stuff that was really good
they
at the
saw
end of the
pretty
edition.
minimal changes on the grand scheme of things. They got hit by the triple land raider tax, which cool. Drop another guardian from your squad.
Blade
Champion charges at number 3, actually, not at number 2, which I found very odd.
Sure, they're like, we're okay with you playing 2 squads of Sacrosancts, or 2 squads of Blade Champion Wardens, but not 3, which I think is fine. Like
no,
two
the escalation kicks in on your second one.
Oh, the escalation kicks on your second. Cool. I need
to
just.
I think that there's quite a bit of errors in the second one there.
Yeah, I can't trust Dave. It's heartbreaking.
Yeah, because like the second one costs you 15 points more than your first one.
Yeah. So the first one, so the kind of idea here, and I think it's a reasonable choice of like, hey, we like you having access to one of this tool, but we don't want you to spam it. And 2 of them, and for some more powerful units, 2 constitute spam. And I think that that's fair in the case of units like Wardens, that some armies just are monophasal and don't have a good answer for that, and that you should have to pay a premium to bring 2 squads of a unit that is that binary. Now, if Wardens are broken, that's an easier way to fix them, right?
Well, and it also means that you are encouraging some level of diversity within the army, because they didn't just make the Blade Champ more expensive, they also made the Wardens more expensive. So in both cases, your second unit just is more. Like if you take 2 units, your second unit costs you 35 points more than your base one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Caladius Grav Tank went down a little bit, but the Arachnus cost a little more. You still won't play the other one. I couldn't even tell you what the other one's called.
That's the Accelerator Autocannon. That's what we used to always run.
Yeah, that one's
bad. What we were back at the BAO like 2019, I think.
The 3 lime green resin printed ones.
No, that was the RTT after that.
Okay. Sure. We've got the Coronis Grav Carrier. Hell yeah.
It is T12, isn't it?
I don't know. I don't care. Custodian Guard went up baseline. They just went up 10 points for their baseline units, and then they also went up at 4 or more units, which is a pretty reasonable place to tax them. And the 5
so they are now the second battle line unit that is taxed.
Yeah, I've seen that, and Rubrics is the only ones I've seen.
Same.
The Palace Grav Tank came down 5. 4 model prosecutors came down 5.
T12 with a 2-up save and 12-inch move.
Sure. Yeah, the 4-man prosecutor squad went up. I think that's kind of just fitting in my baseline of they don't want units to be that cheap, right? 40 points for a unit that can be solo. Probably they're just like, we don't want units to be that cheap.
Just pay the extra 5 points and take a 5 strong.
Run a 5-man, yeah. The fact that they let them run them as a 4 because the character builds out of the kit as well is already very funny. So I feel like it's just like, just sell them, just use them at 5. Release a character.
3 factions that do that now?
There's loads. Custodians do it quite a lot though. But yeah, do you remember 2-man company hero squads or company veteran squads? Because you had the ancient, the banner, and the champion that were all separate models to build from the kit, so you had to have the 2-man. They've always done this kind of weird stuff. Trajan came down 5, so he's maybe like an interesting option for replacing your third blade champion. The show captain on Donegal came down 10. The regular show captain came down 10. Verge Praetors went down a little bit. They still don't pay more for the weapons. They also now fly over terrain, so I think Verge Praetors might be a place to explore some stuff. And
Yeah,
then Venatari also came down. I actually really like Venatari this edition. I think echoing rapid ingress into hidden is a very, very powerful mechanic, and I think Venatari are well positioned to do it.
especially the 10-inch move. They can get where they need to after that.
Yeah, I will also note that like the dreadnoughts, like usually have a ramping cost, but like the first one of each of them is a bit cheaper than it used to be. So if you were to do like Shield Toast plus Might of the Moritoi or something like that, you could pretty easily sprinkle in like one of two dreadnoughts and be like pretty happy with that, I think. While still playing like a pretty solid Shield Toast build, but just to get you away from like, oh, I don't want to run the fifth or sixth God of Guard now because they're a little more expensive. Like sprinkling in Might of the Moritoi and two or three dreadnoughts might be an interesting place to do that. Or if you're doing Lions with something similar, you can do kind of the interesting idea and use those bites with
Yeah.
the move it after fighting. It's
Now,
kind of interesting.
don't forget, there's one really important thing here. The Orion Assault Dropship costs you 50 points more if you take 2 of them.
What does an Orion drop? Without looking it up, Jeremy, what does an Orion dropship do when it's at home? This doesn't matter then.
No, but it's very funny.
Yeah, the Ares is currently unplayable as written. Any aircraft on a 160mm base cannot currently set up from reserve. It's very, very, very stupid, but also those datasheets don't exist. Sorry to anyone who owns a Tiger Shark, your datasheet is not valuable in 40k right now. Yeah, I think Custodes make out like slightly ahead. Like this seems fine. There's nothing in
Yeah,
here that I'm
I
like
think that they play the
upset
new
about.
missions. They've got a good range of detachments available to them.
Yeah,
Their only
if
3 DP is
Custodies are bad, it
Talons,
won't be
and
because
it's
of these
taken
points.
hold, so you can kind of just make it work.
Yep, that's fair. Like I said, I think if Custodies are bad, it won't be because of these points. It will be because of gameplay things from other armies, not because Custodies don't function. Like this is a functional set of points that will let
Yeah,
you build an army in a variety of ways.
that makes sense to me.
Okay, Adeptus Mechanicus. This was an interesting set of changes.
Yeah, so in terms of war gear, the only things that we have to pay for are the Cognos Las cannons on the chickens and the Fairmite cannon on the disintegrator, which means that the disintegrator went up 5 points because
You're playing it with the good gun. Yep.
you're not putting the Belleros on there. If anyone can tell me what the Belleros does in 10th, I will, I don't know, ship them one of
Indirect
my
2d6
Belleros,
shots.
just the little Belleros piece.
621.
I think it's D6 612 actually.
D6 612. That's so much worse.
But yeah, it's just kind of that 721. Oh,
It is 2d6 at 721. I was close.
Ugh.
I was a point off on strength. I'll take that.
Yes, I'll pay 10 points more for 3 las cannon shots.
That seems reasonable. Yeah. I remember that thing used to be the broken one as well. Yeah, we've got points increases on most versions of the Rustalker unit. If you want to spam 3 of them, same thing. Infiltrators were unchanged, but they catch a little bit of a spam tax. The Servitor Battleclade goes up 5 points. It benefits very strongly from Lords of Mars. Taraxi and Invariants catch the point increases.
Which is funny because the
3-mans come down a
Skystalkers
bit.
kind of copped a nerf with the rules changes.
Yeah, not being able to drop in Fire and Fade. Yeah.
They still move fast, and like you can just bring them in with an ingress, with like a rapid ingress or something, and then move 12 in advance, and then Fire and Fade. So it's not that big of a deal.
Astari came down a bunch. Cybernetic Datasmith came down, but now he's a support, so he can be 25 points because he's not just a solo guy. The Transvector actually changed kind of interestingly. It's actually genuinely a kind of compelling transport now, which I think is fun.
Yeah, it's a 14-inch
can
move
actually
skimmer
on the table. Yeah. And then yeah, outside of that, like Talia came down 30, which Talia was already pretty good with Lords of Mars as a new detachment. Like Lords of Mars has probably got to be one of the best 1DPs out there.
Yes, I 100% agree. Yeah, staple her in Lords into most of the other 2 DPs, and things get kind of interesting.
Incredible. He already died if you did, so he was just paying 30. He was just 35 points for the sheer fun of it before. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, he always had to attach, so they were just like, okay. And your first unit of robots also came down, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, there might be some viable. The biggest heartbreak in the world is looking at cohorts time decade and realizing all 6 of its strats using the command phase and can't be stacked anymore.
Yeah.
I own 6 of those robots. I'd love them to be good one day. Admech. I think slight winners here. Like there's a good amount of green here, nothing too crazy.
Yeah, one of the big things is that all of their base troops, while they're not amazing, like Vanguard, I think came down by like 5 points.
Um,
So like 10 of them are 90 points. They natively have some
yeah.
decent guns and ignore cover.
Mhm.
So like don't underestimate a Skitarii horde coming at you.
Yeah, and honestly, just like baseline, there's a lot of ignore cover. They have good access to plus ballistic skill. Like they have oath the moment. Like there's a bunch of rules in this army that's pretty good.
Hmm.
And I think it all seems pretty good. As Floof is saying, there's some pretty interesting space there for like a big like kill 'em all list, which is with he says three or they say three Dissy, three Doomcrawler, six chickens, and mom is just the kill 'em list, and I can't wait to play it. That sounds evil.
Yeah, I like that.
Um,
Um, I assume all autocannons on the Ballistari because they're just pretty solid now with the changes to cover.
yep, makes sense to me. AdMac neutral to slightly ahead.
Yeah, I'd agree.
All right, Eldari. Eldari made me a little sad, I'm not going to lie. I was not super jazzed with these points changes, and it kind of put me off of some of the things I was looking at trying, which is a shame. Avatar King
But
came down 15.
remember the important thing:
Sure.
fire prisms don't have attacks.
They don't have they don't have a points increase tax, yes. I heard attacks there. I'm like, they definitely have two attacks. I was like, ooh, what did I miss? Baharroth came up 10, Corsair Skyreavers came up 5. I think this is one of those changes that's like, okay, I get what they're going for here, where like if we're gonna put a points tax on Crimson on Swooping Hawks and War Spiders, what's the next thing people will play? Because they're still gonna want their 5 or 6 of that unit. Okay, well we want to encourage them away from playing War Spiders and Swooping Hawks, but let's also punish them for playing the replacement. It's like, come on, guys, what are we doing? This unit was not played before. Why is it going up 5 points?
Yeah.
Um, no, that bugged me a little bit. I'm like, just let people do their thing. Um, We've got a points decrease for the D cannon, which is fine. It's still expensive, but it might be interesting. The Death Tester came down 10, is like now one of the cheapest versions of a loan up for Eldar. Um, the Farser Skyrunner came down 10, and it still kind of sucks. Huygen went up 10. Guardian Defenders came down 10. Storm Guardians didn't change. Howling Banshees came down 10 and 25. I think the 10 model squad is actually genuinely quite compelling now as a big melee unit, especially if you're doing like the ignore mod streams and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Um, Jane's also came down 15, so like that whole package is now 270, where it would have been 310 before. Like that's genuinely pretty solid.
Yeah,
Karseth
like
came
you
down
lose it on the
10.
fights first, but let's be honest, usually she wasn't getting charged anyways.
You were getting shot in the face pretty hard by like some
Yeah.
bolt guns and losing your unit anyway. Yeah,
Or charged by
Karseth
a
came down
tank who like,
10.
yeah, you fight me, don't care.
Yeah, and also just still a good heroic unit, right?
Hmm.
Karseth now, like, genuinely is pretty compelling. Just like stands on your home objective, kicks out a 12-inch deep strike aura, and can sit with hidden, and just so doesn't struggle the same way that it used to. And also does give you the access of like the walkout point click buff, which I can't remember exactly what buff it gives off the top of my head. She ignore cover, or she plus one to hit, plus one strength. That's what she gives, which
Yeah.
is fine. It's not
Yeah.
not the end of the
It's
world.
not bad.
Lycus didn't change. I'm going to consider that a buff. The Night Spinner came down 20 for the first couple, and it stayed the same stayed basically the same for the next ones. I think this is fine. I still don't think you're going to play a Night Spinner. The Phantom Titan didn't change, which I'm gutted about. I was going to order one next.
It really should go to 2000 just because it'd be fun. Because you still can't feel the legal army with it because it's not a character.
Rangers went up 5, which again feels like that same punish that they hit on Sky Reavers. Shadow Weaver platform came down 15, which makes them probably the best, like, just sit in your backfield and screen and be vaguely annoying unit. Like, if you
Yeah,
just, like,
because they're
chip a couple.
infantry, so you can even like teleport them as
Yep,
like in Shadow Seer or Shadow
it's
Seer
Seer
Council.
Council. Yep. Yeah, they're really small, really hard to screen. They can just walk in off the board edge. You can just sit them in your backfield and chuck the gun at them and just be like, oh, I hit you on 6s, but if I hit you, I apply the net, so you start taking more wounds when you move and all that kind of stuff, right? It's
Yep.
a vague annoyance for some armies to deal with. Shining Spears came down 5 and 10. Liam will be ecstatic. Shroud Runners came up in one of the most unnecessary changes of all time.
Why
The
did they
Unity
come
was
up? They had stealth before, so shouldn't they
they
go?
were barely played either as well, which is like, what are we doing? Like, is strip
Because they
cover
don't.
that good
Oh,
now?
do they give ignore cover?
They do, but like ignore. I think ignore cover is less valuable now than it was before because +1 plus skill is less valuable than +1 AP to me
Not
anyway.
in their mind, apparently.
odd change to my mileage. Like they released a detachment for them as well with Path of the Outcast, and then did this. Like whatever. Skyweavers. Okay, look, Skyweavers got hit with the we have a natural -1 to hit bar enough, which like fair enough. I get it, but also this unit wasn't good. Did it really need it?
I wager, like my genuine thoughts across a lot of these updates that we're going to see is that there was a control F for -1 to hit and then just smack points up 10%.
Well, there isn't because we can go and look at we're gonna go and look at Inner Companions later. So
that has a while being led clause, so it doesn't actually always work.
yes, it does. The Spirit Seer came down 10. Starfangs didn't change. Striking Scorpions came down a little bit. The difference between Striking Scorpions and Rangers now is 15 points, which actually starts to put it at the point of being like, okay, well, maybe that's good now, which would be interesting. Swooping Hawks came up a bunch. Swooping Hawks are now very expensive. 100 points for
100 points for 5 1 wound 4 up 5 up models
with 4 shots at AP0, strength 4, AP0, damage 1, lethals.
And they don't even have native uppy downy anymore, do they?
Nope, that's only on Baharov. But
So
I think the Baharov
grenade
unit is still
ability.
cracked, but I'm not invested in the units after that. They do,
Yeah.
but they do lose the ability to grenade if they use their if they use their grenade pack.
Actually, did their ability change?
What in what way?
The range on it.
No, it's still 8.
Okay.
It was always 8.
I was just wondering if they would like reduce it by another inch because it'd be funny.
Why would that be funny? That would be mean.
Because it's 1 inch less than Deep Strike.
See, this like Astraville, this only works specifically with Baharov, right? It appears you might be because you can deep strike the mid-movement phase of grenade and let you know you're in combat. Baharov's unit can do that because Baharov deep strikes at 6, but Swooping Hawks can't do that.
Well, you can move them,
Baharov's
right?
points up more. Sorry, what was that?
But you can move the Swooping Hawks at it, like from behind a wall and do that, right?
Sure, but that's not changed. Like they could already do that. Like they were pointed because they could do that already.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Because there's no more timing on reinforcements. It just happens anytime in the movement step. Gotcha.
Baharov can drop down out of reserve and free a unit from combat. He can do it while maintaining hidden. He can do it, all that kind of stuff, right? Which is very powerful. But make Baharov more expensive. Don't punish the regular Swooping Hawks for that. Like that's not their fault. Like their Phoenix Lord's a gangster. They also have the point tax. It is 15 points, by the way, on the points tax on the end for the third unit. It is kind of rough out here to be an Eldar boy. That is an expensive third squad of Swooping Hawks.
One of the things that really bothers me is that the third unit costs are all the same difference between the base one. So whether you take a 5 or 10, so if you take 3 5s or a 10-5-5, that third 5 costs you the same amount more as if it was 3 10s.
I think that's because otherwise you would just like battle it. You'd be like, well, I'm going to bring the 10 and the 5 as my first 2, and then the 5 is my third one to avoid the unit tax.
It's more of a, like, if I'm taking 3 5s or 3 10s, there should be a difference as to how much that third unit is costing me more.
Priced more expensively, right? Like you pay you actually pay 10 points less for the second 5 Swooping Hawks, right? They're 100, 190. So
yeah, that's fair.
I don't think there's a good way to do that. In like this case, there might be in some. Yeah, we have Yunkarn comes down 15, which is cool. The troop 11 man. I don't think that's right. I think that's just a typo. The Void Weaver came down 35 points. The Void Weaver is not a 5 model squad before. I don't think that seems accurate. I don't know.
I think that's the.
Don't know a lot, but I don't think Void Weavers were 5 models.
That's the Corsair ones, isn't it?
Oh, is that Void Reavers?
I think that's supposed to be the Void Weavers.
The Corsairs are up here. Corsair Void Reavers, yeah.
Oh yeah, no, they're there.
Yeah, I think they were 125 and they came down to 115, which is fine.
There is a part of me that wonders if this wasn't made with a bit of AI help.
I would not be shocked. Which is making
me
let
people know in a little secret. When I did this in the past, I did that manually, which is why there usually wasn't any errors. But at the same time, I don't recommend that anyone ever try to do that. There are over 1,000 data sheets in this game.
But I also notably don't recommend anyone does it with AI because you get this shit and make us look stupid, which is what AI normally does because AI is bad and bad for everyone and no one should use it. Which actually makes me want to stop using this and just kind of talk in the abstract and go and grab the Goonhammer articles, which is what I think.
Yeah, let's just do that.
Yeah, because it's bugging me that they're wrong, and I
I
can't
keep
stand
looking
AI.
at the like the web page of Munitorum, and I go, no, that's wrong. No, that's wrong.
Yep.
Oh,
So I'm just gonna do this instead. I can't stand. I hate AI so much.
it has its usefulness as a
I
rubber duck debugger. That's the only thing I use it
I have
for.
decided that I don't agree and that you should never use it anywhere. And
I'm
that
going
it
to
would be
subject
better
you to
for
my
everyone if
debugging
people
then.
just stopped using it wholesale.
All right,
All right,
let's
let
use
me go
Xenos
and grab the
factions.
tabletop battles. Okay, so who is up next? We have Astra Militarum. So let me grab the document from Goonhammer, and we're going to do this the manual way, like an adult. I've been saying that way too much recently.
Like an adult.
Okay, so for adept, actually, why don't I just share this? What am I doing? This is way easier.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got Yarrick came down 20 points. I think that makes sense. I appreciate that he is still pretty good at 150, but people weren't playing him, and I think that that is a reasonable reason to drop him 20 points. If he ends up being played, he's a very easy model to nerf. Notably, his counter strategist does work inside of transport now, which
Yep.
does make him a bit more strong, a bit more powerful. It gives him a lot more of the like jump out, trigger the reactive move, and jump back in stuff, which might be good and might warrant him seeing play now.
How does he work again?
He triggers when your opponent he's a reactive move, right? He just gives you a reactive move. And there's no reason you can't reactive back into a transport you disembarked from, right?
The thing that I'm wondering about. No, it doesn't work when embarked.
Why not?
Because you have to end a move within 9 inches of this model.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that you have Yarrick start in a transport, you drive the transport forward, you disembark Yarrick. While he was in the transport, he
Oh, I
was
see what you're saying.
allowed to generate a counter strategist aura, and then when your opponent walks near him, he can react move back in. So you can get out,
Gotcha. That
shoot
makes more
something,
sense.
and then go back into the transport when your opponent touches the middle.
Gotcha. Because you can still select the ability because the transport liminal space is now gone.
Exactly. Gaunt's Ghost came down 5 points. Whatever. Dreer came down 25. No one cares. Centaur RSV came down 10. I still think they're worse than Chimeras. Chimeras have so many guns. Basilisk came down 25. Whatever, by and large.
I found that amusing more than anything else. That there's all these random ones where like your first one your first indirect piece gets like a 30-point cut, and then the second ones are more expensive than they were before. Just to kind of go,
We are really okay with you having one of these, but we refuse to let you have two. And I honestly like
we've
that as a balance.
like rules them out of most viability, but we don't want to take the risk that Skark shows up with 3 basilisks, three Medusa carriages, and who knows what else.
Yeah, you can have two if you really want, and they're about the same as they were before. But if you just want one because you own one and you want to use it because your dad bought it for your birthday, fine. You can have your one. It's a little cheaper because it's bad now.
Yep.
I think that's a pretty good way to do it. One thing I will say, the tabletop battles ones don't have all the random 5 and 10 point changes, so we're not going to mention them as much.
It's covering
if
all the
there are
major
any,
things,
if
and I
you
think
have
that's
any
more
to
important.
hand,
That's more
shout them
important
out,
because
Jeremy.
there's always going to be these little changes for what often seem like for the sake of changes.
Yeah, it'll be stuff that had stealth or stuff that scouted and stuff like that. Right? It'll be fine. Platoon infantry squads went up 10 and 25, except Kree squads who didn't change in large units.
That's
Another
a big hit to recon.
and I think it's fine because those units were really, really good at the end of last edition. And I know that was obnoxious, but I think it needed to change, and I think it's a good thing.
Yeah, like so now if you look at it, like a Cadian squad now costs 145 points, and it was what 120 before.
Yeah, that's the same as neophytes. Neophytes are 70, 145, which is what Cadians are now. Or Cadians are 75, 145. And I think if neophytes could take that points hit while also getting rules nuked, I think it's fine for Cadians to also have the same change. I'm not gonna cry.
Floof. I shed no tear for their 20 mans being the same as neophytes.
They're 20 mans that are better, that have effective 3-up armor saves compared to neophytes, and
Yeah. I love that I don't need Ceramite. I just need to yell at my boys better, and then they save the same.
Exactly. Tempested Scions went up 5 and 15, and then 15 and 25. Good. Scions were so good at the end of last edition, and objectives got bigger and more important to be on. I think Scions were very easily going to be one of the more powerful units this edition, and deserve a points hit to commemorate. One thing I will say, the inability to rapid plus Overwatch now does put a big bit of a hit on them. But yeah, that's fine. Vice Rabbin, they definitely do still have it in recon because they can get the +1 save and the take cover +1 save, right, from the enhancement. So they can definitely still have a 3-up save. They just don't get a 2-up save now. But that was crazy that they could do that in the first place.
Never should have been able to.
Yeah, Kazakin and combat engineers went up 5 points for the first 2 units and 15 for the third unit. Great. I was so sick of seeing 3x3 of each of those and watching any vehicle that tried to play the midfield just explode. Why is it 2d3 mortal wounds to any vehicle? Why do they get 6 of them?
Because it's
Who
a
knows?
haywire mine or a melt mine or whatever
Fantastic.
they call it.
I hope someone drops a haywire mine on whoever wrote that datasheet rules' car. They'll deserve it. And then what do we have else here? We
The
have
Vanquisher went up 5.
Vanquisher went up. Good. Battle tanks should not be so cheap that you play them for the hull. It's crazy. Reddit
This
was
is very
complaining
true.
about this one of like Vanquishers are the one that tank aces choose, that tank commanders choose because they're like the one with the best chance of just like nuking your opponent's command vehicle, and they're like, yeah, we run these because they can have 3 heavy flamers and they're cheap. I'm like, why? It's terrible.
Yep.
And then Rogal went up 15 points for the second and third one, which, yeah, good change.
Yeah,
Dorns seem like
I
they'd be really
really
good
did
on these
not like
tables.
seeing 3 or more Dorns on the table at any given time.
I don't like seeing one, so I'm annoyed that they didn't go up more, but I'm not upset about it.
One I'm fine with.
Yeah, that's probably fair. I think overall guards seem like small losers. There's nothing in here that like makes me cry for them, but there's like there are reasonable points nerfs to everything that was majorly viable in their Grizzly Company list at the end of last edition, and I don't think that is significantly changing anywhere.
Yeah, and
Anything
like
else?
they still have good builds.
Yeah,
They're just going to be, have to be a little bit tighter with their units.
there's 3 really solid attachments here at the top. There's Mechanized Assault plus Bridgehead, which is a really cool way to play the game. That lets you play Purge the Foe if you want to. Hammer of the Emperor can still do it as well. Like, I think this all seems totally fine.
Yep. I do love that Recon is Recon because, had to be.
I mean, what else was it going to be?
Well,
The way
it's more
Nemo
amusing
plays
that
it,
they
it should
gave
have
it
been
the
Purge the
unique
Foe.
Recon tag, and then Designation Force also has the unique Recon tag, which means there was a moment when they thought the Recon element was going to be a 2 DP detachment.
Yeah, look, maybe. I don't want to live in that world, just ever.
No, I'm very grateful that they realized that may have been a problem.
Okay, next up we have the Templars. One thing I did see from Templars is the Bastion Task Force costs 3 DP for exactly that Black Templars, which made me
Well,
really
yeah.
sad.
I mean, that just makes sense.
Look, it does, but it still made me sad because I really wanted to play Living
It's the
Miracle.
same reason why Stormlance is only 2 for Blood Angels.
But I wanted to play Living Miracle with it so badly. It wouldn't
No.
have even been that good. Where's the rule that says non-ranged abilities still work in transports? There is no such thing as the transport dead space anymore. Units and transports are just units on the game. If they require to be on the battlefield, it still won't trigger. So
Yeah.
Calgar, for example, or an Azrael won't work. But any unit that just like do a thing when you're at the start of the battle round, work in transports now.
There's also the really fun thing there is that any kind of abilities that a character was giving to their unit for like firing deck now work. If they were
Oh, do they?
affecting that, yeah, because if you think about it, so for example, a lieutenant leading a unit of Hellblasters, while leading a unit, this unit's ranged weapons have lethal hits
Oh, I didn't catch that.
because they're no longer in the liminal space where nothing exists because you can't use any abilities when
Is that
you were embarked in 10th.
only leader rules, or does it work for like datasheet rules as well? Like, would you get like the +1 shot for shooting the closest target for flash?
No, because that is when this unit is selected to shoot.
But leader abilities do work.
Because if it affects the weapon itself by saying this weapon has lethal hits.
Oh, but if it's like models in this unit can re-roll hit rolls, that doesn't work. But if it's like the
Correct.
weapons equipped by these models gain
So, for
lethal hits,
example, if you take Azrael, Lieutenant, and 5 Hellblasters and shove them in an Impulsor, they have sustained lethal.
Okay. But if you stick them with a Marshal and firing deck at the top, that gives the unit reroll hits, which won't work.
Yeah,
Apparently.
pretty much.
I'm going to take it according to you anyway. That's what Jeremy said officially on StatCheck right now as a representative of Goonhammer. Sorry, as representative of Tabletop Battles in this situation, because we don't claim him if he's wrong.
That's one of the biggest things and redeploys are the 2 big things that appear to have changed.
Cool.
Fire deck didn't need to get reworded. What changed specifically was that the abilities of the units embarked still work, provided they are just affecting the weapon, which is then steals the weapon to the transport.
I guess because the specific thing is they gain the weapon, and the weapon has the ability lethal hits while it's being led, and because it gains the weapon and the transport ability works, it's not a thing that's specifically written. It's a second order consequence.
Correct.
Right, that makes sense.
Because it's the
'cause
same
it
way
takes
if the weapon natively had lethal hits.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
transport would
it's
have
just
a
like
bonus
you're
fire
reading
hit.
lethal hits off the profile line of the weapon, so that has it.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't gain reroll ones to hit isn't a rule that goes on the weapon, so it doesn't apply.
Correct. Or like the extra
Interesting.
shot count from Ludus? Flash gets, I think.
Yeah, because that's the data sheet ability that the unit is not firing at the closest target, so it doesn't work.
Yeah. Floof kind of says the character gives the buff to the weapon. The transfer says, "Let me borrow that," and takes the buff weapon. The
Okay,
thing that
that's kind of interesting.
didn't work,
Nothing
and
to
that
do with
didn't work
Black Templars,
before
but
because the character couldn't buff the weapon when they were embarked.
sure. What was the redeployment change you wanted to talk about? Sorry, you mentioned it just there.
Basically, the redeploys work while you're embarked now.
Oh, right, redeploys work.
And same with like choosing priority objectives. So, for example, like the lieutenant with combi weapon can now choose his objective.
Vulcan has to pick an objective. He doesn't pick it when he disembarks now, like he used to.
Yeah. So all of those are kind of nice changes.
Actually, no. Vulcan's is specifically the first time he set up on the battlefield, so his does still work the old way. That's cool. Interesting.
Yeah, that's because they reworded him because he was broken.
Yeah, they fixed him because he was broken. Yeah.
There was one that was still broken at the tail end, but again, now it just works. Yeah, the transport liminal space was always a weird one.
Still broken.
I think it was Insidiants were broken because they had a wording for start of battle to pick one, but they didn't have a wording if their quarry died while they were embarked.
Yeah, and head takers also didn't work.
Yeah,
or head takers didn't work until they got adjusted.
Yeah. Normally, because you just count as being off the battlefield.
Yeah. Do we have to take battle shocks while embarked or when disembarking? I believe you now just take them while you're embarked. The same as you just take them when you're off the board. Now they just happen. You just take them.
And that's something that I realized during like my second game is I had a unit of I can't remember what it was. I had a unit of Incubi that was just one on the Archon left, and I embarked them into a Raider.
It's like, you gotta just test.
And I went, huh. But I can target them with strats now. As long as the strat doesn't require them to be on the battlefield.
Doesn't require them to be on the battlefield or in range of something, yeah. Interesting stuff. All right, Black Templars. Yeah. This is also just becoming a Vamp about 11th edition stream. Okay, Crusade Engine came down 10. What does a Crusade Engine do?
I have no idea.
Yeah, me neither, really.
I think it's one of the things where you use it in the ancient detachment that they have, which I've never seen played. So
they have the Apothecary Biologist. Once a model in this unit's killed a thing, he becomes OC6. Not even OC9 like the Apothecary Biologist, and he gives his unit fight on death. And he has like a randomly
automatic fight on death or 4-up fight on death.
Yeah, I can roll so many failed 4s. And then the Crusader Squad came down 10, which seems fine. And then the Marshal stacks at unit at number 2 and 3. I feel like this could have been a stack at 3 unit, and Crusaders probably could have been a stack at 3 unit, but
yeah, like I get it, but yeah, a lot of the ones that hit it 2 just didn't need to hit it 2.
Yeah. Also, Black Templars caught all of the generic Marine point changes that happened. I don't think there's anything that's particularly pointed specifically for them that changed.
I didn't see anything that was that different. I think their Repex might be differently costed.
Their repulsor is already priced differently because it's a Black Templars version, right? So,
but that's what I mean is that I think that one might have been.
Yeah, their repulsor executioner is 245, 265 for the third one, which is 5 points more expensive than the baseline one, I believe.
Oh, 5 points for a multi-melta. That's the rule.
And the repulsor is 170, 190 for the regular.
And their Stern Guard are cheaper as
well. Their Lander Crusader still sucks. You don't pay more for the Gladiators and the Valiants and things like that anymore. They're just the same points. The multi-mel is free on those ones, as I understand it. So yeah, not a ton of changes for those.
Yeah.
What is the points cost on the Living Miracle enhancement? That's the only other thing that we got today.
Living Miracle? It is?
Because that's the only one that I was really excited about. It's only 15 points. Man, that is a good enhancement for 15 points.
Yeah, I was going to say. Oh, they don't have it sorted by... Yeah, there it is.
It's right at the bottom, yeah. None of the other ones are really exciting. But Guiding Omens, 15 points for +2 attacks and -1 CP heroic and -3 detection range is a hell of an enhancement.
That does seem quite good.
All right. That is all it gives you. It doesn't give you. It gives you that and a hit and a wound reroll for 15 because the stats all the detachment gives you is 15 points is a hit and a wound reroll, and you're.
You know what? It's 15 points. I'll take it.
Yeah, exactly. It's 15 points and a DP for that enhancement. Most expensive enhancement in the game. All right, who's up next? By alphabet, we have Blood Angels. That means I can stay in this same article and
Just scroll down one bit.
Okay, Mephiston came down 10 points. That is the only listed buff here, which can't be a good thing, right? Like that can't feel great.
I mean, if you look at the point increases, they also didn't really change much of anything. And I guess Mephiston, he fights first, so they control F fights first and
Yeah,
get a
look, I
10%
think
discount.
Mephiston is like at 110 much more interesting, right? Like he likes
Yes.
new cover. I actually kind of liked old cover because he only has a 5 of invuln, but yeah, one of the Woods remodels has a better feel no pain than invulnerable save.
Yeah.
I am truly, truly god awful gobsmacked that they didn't change the Sanguinor.
Yeah. I feel like that's an oversight almost.
Do you know how much that guy sucks now? Do you know the rules interaction with him?
It's end
So he sets up
of.
at the end of the charge phase
Yeah.
because he makes an ingress move at the end of the charge phase. What is
He can't
making
make
an
any
ingress move
moves.
until the next charge phase, Jeremy?
Yep.
So if he sets up at your opponent's end of charge
Yeah,
phase,
he can't pile in, he can't
can't
consolidate.
pile in, consolidate, or move in your own turn,
Yeah.
except to charge.
Yeah. No, they fucked it up. Like, let's be honest. Like,
He's
there were several
genuinely
instances
garbage.
of rules changes where they were just kind of like, yeah, we forgot this guy existed.
Sanguidor is truly terrible. The Sanguidor would be bad at 60 points. You'd play him at 60 to just be a dude, right? Like 80 points to be a dude, but
It's
to
a
do his
dude that's going to
job, he
go
is
run down the other side of the board.
actually literally does not function as a unit that does his job. And he did not change in points. So,
Yeah, I do love that Blood Angels have 3 doomed detachments.
yeah, I mean that makes sense. Blood Angels are pretty doomed,
Rage Curse
just like
is
their
3.
players.
Lost
That means
Brethren is
Rage Curse was
2.
2 for a while, or that they're really worried about 3,000 point games.
Again, it's like the recon question of, you know what? I would rather they err on the side of caution when it comes to the 3 DP detachments.
Yeah, for sure. And then we have points increases for JPIs and Assault Intercessors both got 5 points baseline. They went down 5 points overall, but that means that it's like 85 points for regular ones, 95 for Blood Angels ones. I think this is actually a really good change. One, the fact that they've split them out, and two,
Yeah,
the fact that they are slightly more expensive because like this is a genuinely good unit.
they're the
I
ones
actually
that
think they
benefit
probably
most from
could
it, and
have
we were
been.
often paying in other Marine books for what Blood Angels could use them
Is
for.
it bad to say that they probably could have stayed at 90 and just been like, it's okay that these are good in Liberator because they're not actually that good in any of the detachments because only Liberator plays them. It would
Could
have
have
been
just
fine, I think.
could
But
have 5 points in Liberator.
that could have been fine. Yeah. Bloodguard veterans went up 5 points here, which sure. And the chaplain with jump pack went up 5 here as well. Obviously, Blood Angels use jump packs much better than most other detachments do. There is another couple of notable things here. There are a couple of 2-point detachments that would have otherwise been 3s. But Stormlance is the big one, I think, for Blood Angels.
Yeah. One of the other things that was kind of missed in the review, just because it was a decrease for everyone else, but not for Blood Angels, is Outriders.
Oh, sure.
So,
Outriders stay at 80.
no, they're 75.
Okay, so they went down 5 points less for Blood Angels than for everyone
Yeah.
else, which I don't really care.
Yeah, I was just kind of like, but why? I will say the
Who
one thing I
knows?
do really like though is that the interactive MFM that they've done lists all of the leader options for every unit underneath it
Yes, it is pretty handy.
as
And
a
there's
like
actually a thing in the app that says refer to the MFM, not to the app,
yeah,
in case
because they
there's
want to
something
be able to
broken.
tweak this, and I'm fine with that.
BGV plus Sang Priest plus Captain is possible now. I don't believe it is. I think you can only do 2. You can only have 2 characters in a unit, right? Or 2 leader, 2 like
Yeah,
1 leader, 1
you're
support.
limited. You're limited to 1 leader and 1 support,
Yeah, or 2 leaders if you have a rule that lets you have 2 leaders specifically, I guess.
unless he means Blade Guard veteran, Sang Priest, and Captain.
Oh yeah, maybe.
Not the Blade Guard ancient.
Yeah, I would definitely do Chaplain plus Sang Priest, but you guys do you.
Can the chaplain?
Chaplain is regular Sang Priest support, right?
Yeah, it's fair. I was more thinking whether they can actually lead him, but I guess they can.
Chaplain Fleet Blade Guard, yeah, that's been the whole thing for this entire edition. Did either of the Fight First enhancements change? That's probably
That's a good question.
Rage no, Speed of the Primarch is still 25 points. That is brutal. And Master of the Red Thirst is still also 25 points. That
Yeah,
is pretty
25.
rough.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chaplain Sang Priest I like a lot because it's +1 to wound and +1 AP and 5 of Field of Pain, which stacks really well.
Yeah. And also the unbattle shock. Right?
Yep. All right, next up we have
Should be
good old Chaos Demons.
Demons.
What changed for Chaos Demons?
So Chaos Demons is I love, by the way, the opening to the Chaos article is basically like a
Look,
page and a half of Rob
we're getting
ranting
there.
on about whether defilers are good.
We're gonna get there. Okay, Blood Crushers came down 15 and 40. Their bases are much harder to use now. These are still probably pretty good. Cavalcade of Chaos is a solid detachment. It has a rapid ingress stratagem that you can stack with regular rapid ingress, which is kind of cool. Yeah, interesting.
I think you
Their
can even use it in your turn as well.
Yeah, you
on
can use
turn
it
one.
to either turn 1 deep strike or rapid ingress in your opponent's turn. Including apparently their turn 1. I think it's the only current way I know of to rapid on your opponent's turn 1.
I think so.
I think there's a lot of ways to deep strike on turn 1. I don't know of another way to rapid on turn 1.
I think you're correct.
Which is kind of cool.
Yep.
You're doing it with Blood Crushers and Fiends, so it might not be that big a deal, but you can do it.
It's cool.
Demon Prince of Chaos came down 25 points. I don't know what that does. What does a Demon Prince of Chaos do? Okay, they are lone up within 3. They have a once per battle start of any phase 3 of invulnerable save. They have a 6-inch stealth aura. And if they're Corn, they get +2 strength. Zeens, they get +2 attack on their gun, +1 toughness if they're Nurgle, and +2 move if they're Slash. Wow, that seems awful.
And their melee is
6
not
attack
even psychic.
823.
It's the same profile that every other Demon Prince has.
Yep.
And their range is the same infernal cannon that everyone else has.
Except the Death Guard one, who's strength 7 for some reason.
It's Death Guard.
Only one of them, though. Do you know, like, one of them is strength 7. Is it the winged one or the foot one?
Pretty sure it's the winged one.
Yep, it's strength 7. The only Demon Prince is not strength 5.
Because the foot one has more melee attacks, right?
I don't actually know. I think it's 7 attacks on that guy, yeah. Ingress turn 1 is great, but rapid to turn 1 is more common. Imperial Agents can rapid turn 1, so this is the only rule that rapids you on turn 1. Yeah, Imperial Agents also have one, but they don't let you because you can't play them. The Games Workshop will take you out back and shoot you if you try. Okay, for other stuff, we have Skullmaster went down 15. That's the leader for Blood Crushers. Rendmaster and Bloodthrone went down 15, which, okay, I think those guys are still pretty good. I like Rendmasters. Be'lakor, Bloodthirster, Great and Clean One, Keeper Secrets, Lord of Change, and Rodriguez went up 15. Do these guys have scaling cost? Actually, the question I would like to know the answer on.
I know Keepers do and Lords do, just from looking at the T-Sense things, and they more or less read across, but...
Okay, Lord of Change does scale 15 at the third one, and...
Be'lakor doesn't, because you can only take one of him.
Damn, I really think Be'lakor should cost more, and they also cost... Bloodthirsters also cost 15 extra the third one.
And the Great Unclean One does as well. Yeah, all of them do. All of them have a 15 or... Looks like 15 point tax.
15 and 15, yeah. So they're 15 for the first one and 15 for the third one. I think Graders get away with this because you can run a bunch of them. Like you can just play like one of each and not really notice it that much.
Yeah.
I think Scarbrand also went up. Shalaxi, I think notably didn't. And then other than that, there's a few like point changes here. The Rendmaster
Keepers are interesting because they're natively -1 to hit, right?
They are natively -1 to hit. They still do F all damage, but they are -1.
Sure. But as a body that can move across the board.
Yeah. Legion of Excess might have a bit more play with that now.
No.
I would not be surprised. Fluxmaster went up 20. That good. That if you haven't played against Pink Horrors yet with -2 to hit, you walk up. Look,
so much fun.
Imagine the situation. You walk up to a Pink Horror squad. You're a ballistic skill 4 army. They're -1 to hit and -1 ballistic skill, and they roll Flickering Reality, and they roll a 6, and now you hit them on 6s, which you can't hit on because they miss.
Doesn't Flickering Reality only work in melee?
I know, but
NS.
It's terrifying for weapon skill. Like Pathfinders literally can't hit them in combat if you roll a 6, though.
Pathfinders don't hit them in combat anyways.
Yeah, but it's even worse now. Yeah, Pink Horrors with the Fluxmaster are -1 to hit and -1 ballistic skill, which is very stressful for a lot of armies. Some armies won't care. If you're running, ignore modifiers or psychic weapons or stuff like that, you'll punch through this, and they're more expensive for the privilege.
Yeah. That is one of the big buffs that all of the graders got, is that a good chunk of their weapons are psychic. So they just
Yeah,
kind
you
of
will also.
ignore all of that.
I think for that reason, I think Lord of Change should have gone up more than 15 points, but we shall see. We shall see if that ends up being true. Since so good. I think there was something I wanted to say there, and I've lost it. Changeling went up 15, Nurglings went up 5 and 20 on the 6 man. These are now 45 and 50, 45 and 90, which seems fine.
Yeah.
I don't mind this.
They're basically making them like a flat scaling from the small to the
Oh,
large
I remember
unit,
what I
which
wanted to
is
say.
fine.
Shadow Legion's -1 to hit for Tzeentch units got changed to be melee only, much in the same way that the Death Guard Plague did. So you don't have to worry.
No, it's actually the opposite. It changed to them having stealth, and then -1 in melee.
Oh, it changed to stealth and -1 in melee. That was not
Yeah.
in the version of the app that I saw, or the
Oh,
version of the update I saw.
maybe they changed it again then,
Yeah, let me
because in the
let me have
faction
a look.
pack that they released last week,
In the faction pack, it definitely just said they just get -1 to hit, and yeah, they get stealth and -1 to hit. I don't believe that was in the faction pack, but maybe I'm going mad.
it was because we missed it because they when we were doing when the Tabletop Battle team were doing the reviews, we got the preview copies and it was just the index, and we were like, oh, it's just the index, nothing changed. And then we
Sure.
noticed as we read back through, we went, oh no, they just put the changes in here, no change log.
So
Yay.
notably, this will still stack with a Fluxmaster, but it won't stack with cover, which is good. Obviously, the same change that happened to the Dread table for Chaos Knights. Basically, anything the game army wide stealth or everyone with -1 to hit got changed to stealth, which good
Shadow
change.
Legion as 2 is also very interesting.
Legion of Exodus did get help by the 5 change, yeah. All right, who is next? It's probably Chaos Knights based on my rough ability to guess numbers. It's actually Chaos Knights. Wow, shocking. Because it was next in the article, and the next Chaos thing was probably the next thing. Acheron went down 15. I don't know what the Acheron does. Castigator went down 15. I don't know what that one does. Starks went down
That's
10.
the Castigator's the big Gatling one with the sword.
I know what it is. I just don't know what it does. I don't know what its rule is in Chaos Knights, and I don't think I.
Oh yeah, that's fair because it's shit in Chaos Knights and halfway decent in Imperial Knights.
Yeah. All right, Jeremy. What do you think the Castigator's rule is in Chaos Knights?
I'm gonna guess it's an aura of +1 to hit for War Dogs.
It's sustained 1 for
shooting.
War Dogs, and it does the
Oh, okay.
suppression thing where it shoots a thing and it makes it -1 to hit.
Okay.
Because obviously your favorite thing is something that's going to live through your Castigator shooting them.
I don't know. I've been shot by that Castigator gun in both variants, and it's never been impressive. So
No. Ruiner came down 15. The Night Tyrant came down 10, which is kind of cool. I do like the Tyrant conceptually. Powering
Deep
helps
Strike
with
in
a
12
bunch.
is kind of cool.
Yeah. The Despoiler went down 10 points, but the Battle Cannon costs 15 extra and the Gatling costs 25 extra per, and there's an extra 20 points on the second and third, so 10 points relative to the old points.
The trip to spoiler list got yeeted.
Good. It's not a list that should have ever existed.
And that's kind of where I'm at with it, in that like this thing shouldn't have existed in the first place, and allowing it to last as long as it did was a problem. But I think that list, I think the triple the spoiler list with full GAT went up like 180 points.
I honestly don't care. Like, cry me a river, man. That list was broken. play a third, play a different night, play 2 and 1. You'll be fine. The Carnivore went up 5. The Lancer went up 10. Okay. Dispositions are all
it's pretty mild adjustments to them overall. I'm not too worried. I mean, Chaos Knights weren't exactly inspiring joy before, and I don't think that'll really change.
No, I mean they do benefit from towering being +1 to ballistic skill now. The Dread table can be more impactful. Like the things on the Dread table that are like once your opponent has actually battle shocked are more likely to stay battle shocked now, right? Like I think there's a lot more incentive as Chaos Knight to do stuff like roll on the Dread table and just be like, I'm just going to chase 2 of the effects, or to just be like, I'm going to pick, -1 to your leadership. So when you do start taking battle shock, you stay battle shocked, and then my buffs that kick off battle shock actually might start working. Things like that. I don't think that's a terrible place for them to be. It's not amazing, but I think it's fine. All right, next up is Chaos Titan Legions. So Chaos Space Marines had a few changes. So Spawn went down 10. They still suck. They're the only Spawn that are OC0. Cultist Mob went down 10 for the 20-man. Sure. Felgor Beastman. The Helldrake came down 30. I still think it kind of sucks. MOE came down 10 and is now support. Mutilators came down 20. I think this is cool. I like Mutilators a bunch.
MOE coming down and being support is interesting.
He already had double attach, so that this isn't new for him.
No, it's more just the coming down part of it, and it also means that he's more flexible with the double attach because I think it used to just be a Lord that he could attach with.
No, you could do it with you could definitely do it with Bile and Huron before. I don't know if you could and Bile and Abaddon before. I don't know if you could do it with other stuff, but
although he also has the worst version of the MOE, doesn't he?
He's the reroll hits and wounds below like starting strength guy.
Yeah. Okay, so
yeah, he's okay. He doesn't have the fight first version. He's the whether this model's leading your unit, it targets a unit below starting strength, you reroll hits. If it's below half, you reroll wounds. And when he kills kill the character, you gain a CP. He
so it's
could
just
double
him, it's
attach
not his
to
unit?
any chosen or legionnaires before, so there was no restrictions on him previously.
Okay.
The only thing you couldn't have was double MOE, and I don't think anything has changed for him there because he still only attaches. He now also attaches to Nemesis Claw and Red Corsair Raiders, which he already did because that they had changed attachments.
Yeah, that's the other thing I really like is that with the updated MFM that just has everything, chaining is just gone.
Yeah, which again, good. Okay, so Mutilators coming down 20. I like. This unit's cool and needed a little bit of help. Like I think 200 was just a little too high for them to debut at, especially when they debuted at the same time as Defilers.
Yeah, they definitely landed too high, but it is funny.
Yeah, I think this is one of those units that will just like creep down 10 points every balance patch until they're in every list.
Until they're just a tiny bit too cheap.
Exactly. Red Corsair Raiders went down 10 for 10 man. Red Corsair Reeve Captain went down 5 because he sucks.
I kind of wish that they bumped the 5-man Raiders down like 5 points.
I think 110 is fine.
I
That
think it would have
unit's
been
in
nice.
like every list.
Really?
Yeah, that unit's been in every Pac-Man list for the past 3 months.
Oh.
Every single one.
Okay.
They work so well with the Masters of the Maelstrom.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, they just give you like so much space. Abaddon went up 15. Good. He's really good. I think what they should have done is change his aura to only be rerolled to hit for infantry and mounted and not work on vehicles. But if
just make it so all of his auras only affect infantry mounted or non-monster vehicle.
And non-damned as well. Like he did not need to work. He does not need to work on Defilers, and he could probably be like 60 points cheaper if he did that, which would be great. Accursed Cultist went up 20 points for the second and third unit, which honestly fine. I'm sick of having to run everything that comes out through is this broken with 3 ACDC check, and it's nice to not.
Or can this kill Chaos Cult?
Yeah, oh wait, is Chaos Cult broken in this metagame? Having to ask that question every week is so fucking exhausting, and I'm kind of glad to not have to do that as consistently. I think they'll still be fine. Defilers. Okay. Base Defiler for Chaos Space Marines went up 50 points, which is now 300, and then it's 30 points extra for the second and third, and the Las Cannon and Autocannon are 10 points extra each. So it is 320 and 350 for 2 Defilers.
Didn't we say that unless they were 400, they were still auto?
I don't think
CSM
a Chaos Space Marine list on the planet plays less than 2 of these if it wants to call itself the best version of a Chaos Space Marine list. I think 350 with scaling 30 might have been like an okay baseline position where you might consider not playing 2 in every version of good Chaos Space Marines. This datasheet will continue to be everywhere. It benefits so much from the core rule changes to the edition.
It loves new cover.
It loves new cover because it plays a bunch of AP1 guns.
It loves the new toe-in rule.
New toe-in, yep.
It's just
good. They're just broken.
It's taller than everything else on the board, so it's just like, I see where I want to go.
Yep. I think we are like my kind of initial read on the edition is that we are debuting in a Tau and Defiler metagame, and that we will see where it goes from there because we will develop counters to those things as we will. I think they are not as good as they were, right? No one is even remotely trying to pretend that they're
like you're not going to shove 3 of them in a list and still have plenty of points to play with. You're going to put 2 in a list and play slightly more cagey than you had to before.
Yeah, and they don't overwatch you to death now quite as easily. They still can, but they don't do it consistently.
Like being able to pact and Overwatch still hurts.
Yeah, for sure. But they can't pact and full rerolls and Overwatch and kill you and your friend and the person next to you's table as well, right? And I think that's a generally good thing. Forge Fiends, minus 10 for the first 2, but plus 5 for ectoplasma cannons.
So it actually went up 5.
Yeah, went up 5. Chaos Orb with Jump Pack went up 10. Okay. Why? Bunch of stuff went up 10 for the second, third unit for the third units. Chosen went up 10 for the second and third unit, which I think is fine. That unit's already really good. Just a very, very consistent unit. I think if a unit's being played as a 2 or 3 of in every Chaos Space Marine list for the last 6 months, it's probably okay if it goes up 5 points.
Yep.
Just, speaking personally.
Turns out advanced fallback, shoot, and charge is just good.
Yeah, they're in all the doctrines all the time. They have Marnius Calgar's data sheet rule. Like, that's pretty good. Dark Communes also get shafted alongside ACDC. This one feels unnecessary. I don't know why this
just target the ACDC. Just target the accursed cultists. The DC side didn't need to get nerfed.
Yeah, poor Deceptors, right? Can't play its 20-man cultist with I mean, it can't do nearly as much as it used to anyway.
Master of the cultists could be 30s.
The fact that Master of the Maelstrom were cheaper than Chosen to begin with was crazy because they were better. So yeah, I think this unit could be 150 and still be viable. So I think that seems okay to me that they're not, and that they won't be, and that we will just move on with our lives. I have nothing particularly strong to say in any direction about this data sheet. Possessed went up 10 for 10 model units and 10 and 20 for your third unit, which seems
that's 40 points on the meat wall.
Unit's already not that great. Traitor Enforcer went up 15 and got nerfed and sucks now.
Do you want to explain to people what happened with the Traitor Enforcer?
So the Traitor Enforcer, you have to put the wounds on the Ogren first now, which, look, makes sense conceptually. I understand.
It's how it was supposed to work in the first place.
Yeah. Like the fact that you could run the Ogren Bodyguard, you could take the damage on the Commissar first because the idiot would stand in front of him with the 4 Vulnerables and the 4 Field Pain and be like, I'm incredibly tanky. Yeah, it makes sense. This unit did not need to exist in its previous capacity, and it's totally fine that it doesn't. However, it does kind of suck now, and it didn't that, and therefore probably didn't need to also go up 15 points. But it did, and neener, I guess.
Yeah, it's fine. Oh, poor Trash Tor. 30 points.
He's still probably okay. Warp Talons went up 10 for the 10-man squad and 10 to 20 for the third unit, which who was playing more than 1
units of Warp Talons?
That's the greed they were speaking of in the Bible, frankly. Yeah. Good detachment spread, good access to all the different dispositions. Pac-Man Zealots being priority assets I really like. I was worried that would be a Purge the Foe, and the fact that it's not does make me happy, because you do have to at least pretend to score with that army. I think on points alone, losers, but made out like bandits from core rule changes. So I would imagine that we will still be Chaos Space Marine will still be one of, if not the top dogs coming into the new metagame. And we're just gonna have to all be okay with that, because I mean the alternative is
kill 2 Defilers in a turn.
The alternative is to cry. So
or play Defilers yourself.
I mean, I could do you could do both. You could cry and play Defilers. That's what I've been doing.
All right. Dark Angels?
Yep. So next in the Chaos factions.
Sorry, you won't find them on that page. We infiltrated the Marine page.
Oh, that's fine. I had that one ready to go as well.
Yeah.
All right, Jeremy.
I'll run through these because I wrote this.
Talk about Dark Angels. Show us your intense love of the army.
The line went down 30 points. Pretty cool. His fights first is less impactful, but it is still a free interrupt, so it's pretty cool. I actually really like where he's at right now. He's like 285 points for.
He did lose his turn 1 ingress as well, right? Which is not nothing. That was a genuine power point for the army.
He did lose that. That is true. I'm not wholly upset about that.
No, I mean, turn 1 rapid ingress was always a stupid mechanism that did not need to exist, but was
and it was also I went first. Not only do I go first and be able to position the entire board, but also I get the opportunity to turn 1 ingress on you. Because you couldn't do that with him if you went second.
Yes, that's true. It was a good turn 1 play, though, in an army that was often playing a lot of good turn 2 plays already. Like it already had good natural rapid ingresses, so having something to do when you went first is cool.
Yep. So
Deathwing Terminators came down 15 and 30. Did they also get the Storm Shields cost extra points on top of that?
No, because Deathwing Terminators are just the Deathwing version of the regular Terminator squad.
Oh, so these are bad. Got
it. So they ignore mods when shooting the Oath target.
Jeremy.
Hear me out. And they get +1 to hit it.
Jeremy.
And they're 10 points cheaper than regular Terminators now.
Jeremy. Are you going to play them?
I had a list with 30 of them, and then I shelved it because I realized that was a really bad idea.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Evan and
Deathwing
John
Knights
Lennon
came
says line
down.
goes back on the shelf. Well, John Lennon was never a Dark Angels player, so
Ooh, harsh.
he's an Ultramarines player.
Objectively, one of the most accomplished Dark Angels players.
No, that's Kyle McCord.
Is it though?
I mean, at least from a performance at WCW, it is.
Is that how we judge performance nowadays?
Deathwing Knights did go down 10, but it's only for the first one. And then you pay 20 points more for the second one, which means if you're taking 2, it's unchanged. So sure.
Which I think is fine. You
Yeah,
want to play 2, it's the same as it used to be. You want to play 3, you're spamming them. Stop it. Stop spamming.
Yeah, exactly.
We
And if
don't
you
want
just
you
want
to
to take
do
the
that.
1, you get a little bit of a discount. The Dark Shifter went down 20. You're never going to see this ever again. It gives
It's
stealth within
so
6
bad.
inches. It's only 8. It's 80 points for a speeder hull that has a heavy bolter.
Honestly,
No.
If it was like 70, I would be like, okay, scoring unit. But
I guess
it is
it can take
movement
to the
14.
skies and it moves 14. Samurai went down
You had
10.
a second gun.
Yeah, that's if it did anything other than stealth. Samurai went down with 10. It's kind of cool. So the next one I really don't understand. Inner Circle Companions went down 10 points for
Yes,
either
this
the
unit
3 or
is
the 6.
really good already, right?
Yeah, like they were already being taken, usually like a 3-man with as Azrael's bodyguard. The only thing I can really think of, so for anyone who's not aware of, while they're being led, they are -1 to be hit, which means that you put them in cover, that -2 that we were talking about comes up. They can be led by Azrael, who gives them a 4-up invuln.
Can be led by like Terrarians in Librarius Conclave, who also gives them +2 move or -1 strength to incoming attacks, or any variety of fun buffs.
Yeah. You can also now, if you want to, attach an apothecary to the unit and bring idiots back, because apothecaries are 40 points. They already have lethals on their good attacks. The lieutenant doesn't do a whole bunch for them.
He doesn't fall back and shoot or fall back and charge, which can be helpful in some situations.
But yeah, so it's definitely interesting. I don't know. We saw kind of across the board, and we kind of see it like most of the other things that have baked in -1s went up, and these went down. So, I put Belial.
Don't play Ezekiel, chatter. Don't do that.
No, don't. Ezekiel doesn't even give you the invuln. Ezekiel is just bad. Ezekiel makes your entire army take a battle shock after he dies.
It's so brutal for no reason.
It's just that moment of like, I'm sorry, what? No, you're staying on the shelf. Belial went down 10. It's very funny because he's now down to like 70 points for a Terminator character.
I wonder if you play him solo like a Gravis captain.
That's what I was starting to look at. I was like, I mean, he has like he's horrible and his rule is horrible. But yeah. And then their only nerf was that Azrael went up 15 points, which fair.
Fine.
He's at 140, he's still
pretty
probably
good.
an auto take in most Dark Angels lists. Gives you CP, he fights well, he buffs his unit really well. What more can you ask for?
I still think he's really good. Yep. Nothing particularly notable on the forces positions. There's no like bonus cheaper ones, Stormlance or anything like that. So
no, nothing like that changed. That's basically where we're at with that. Which I believe we just go straight into Death Watch.
Yeah. Wow, this army got hit in the head with a baseball bat by core rule changes and points changes.
Yeah.
It's actually also not next. Next is Death Guard, but we're here.
We're here. We'll go there.
Yeah. We'll come back in a minute for those poor underloved Death Guard. Wait, no, I don't like that analogy.
Father's right in his garden.
So Death Watch. What changed for Death Watch? The Talon Strike kill team came down 10. This data sheet is okay. Decimus kill team came down 10 for the 10-man, which doesn't matter. The Death Watch Terminators came down 10, but they cost more for the good models, which seems bad. And JPIs came down a little bit, which is fine. Fortress kill teams got more expensive while also getting worse. And Dominator kill teams came up a bunch, which is fine. Storm Speeder Hammer Strike went up a little bit for this army, but they also went up for everyone else.
Yeah.
And Infiltrators went up 10, which is fine. I have no major complaints about any.
Yeah, like the Fortress and Indomitor nerfs were to be expected.
Yeah, like everything here broadly goes into my category of like, yeah, I guess that seems reasonable. That this army was pretty good, and I don't broadly mind that it caught a change.
Yeah. It's kind of where we're at with them. Nothing really to say about them aside from
this army's probably not that good.
Yeah, and we'll say that with all of the leaders now being listed, it does clear up the whole Inquisitor question, because
which is that they can't.
Yeah, because things like the captain lists the Decimus kill team in the MFM as one it used to could lead, whereas before the Decimus said anything that can lead a Fortis can lead this, and you had to do that stupid chaining thing. So
that one guy in shambles. That one guy is me. Like, just for what it's worth, I'm in shambles. I'm so sad.
it's fine. You'll pivot in like 60 seconds.
Oh, look, I will. Look, I'm playing Tau. What are we on about? But it doesn't mean I'm not sad about it. You know, I can be sad and winning. Like, it's okay.
This is true. You can't actually
Deathwatch
have your
Terminator
cake.
Squad gang. Look, Librarius Deathwatch Terminator gang sounds like a really, really good way to work really, really hard to lose 60% of your games. Maybe I'll be wrong. Okay, Death Guard. Death Guard did catch a rules change. I'm not going to call it a notable rules change. The bad plague that you never played, the -1 to hit one, is now only only -1 to hit in melee. And does it still give stealth?
It doesn't even give
does it
stealth.
do nothing. Yeah, it just does nothing, right?
Yeah, and that's because and then this is I get why they wrote it the way that they did, because you have to be in contagion range to be affected by it. So kind of be like, while you're within contagion range.
Yeah, while the attacking units within contagion range you have stealth or something like that would have been a bit awkward. So I don't blame them for not doing it, but it definitely is like,
it is very funny where like if you were in melee range, I was like, well then yeah, if I'm in melee, I'm always in contagion range.
Yeah, why are we not nerfing? Like, why are we buffing or nerfing the bad one, not buffing the good one?
I guess technically it buffs allied Chaos Knights.
What?
If you have an allied Chaos Knight, they would be the enemy unit that you're in engagement range would be -1 to be hit.
But that's they already do that.
No, in melee.
But doesn't Contagion already works for allied Chaos Knights, Jeremy? Like, none of this is new. Stop trying to gaslight me. Gaslight the viewers all you want. I don't care about the viewers, but
no, actually, we've got Mikey in here. We can have some fun with him.
Exactly. We should gaslight him even harder. Like, what are we doing?
All right.
Okay, Death Guard. So, what do we have changed?
Demon Prince with Wings went down 10.
Prince came down 10. He's still bad.
It's not the good prince, so whatever.
Foul Blight's one came down 10. Notably, did these guys not get support?
I don't understand what happened with Death Guard. Give me a second.
Because I thought I saw an like the update that said they all gained support in the faction pack, but then none of them did.
No, because the Foul Blight spawn is listed as leader.
And so is the Tallyman, which means
and so is the Icon Bearer, which if anyone was going to be supported, be the Icon Bearer. But they also didn't change the rule on Plague Marines.
So I don't see any reason that you can't still run solo Tallymans, which feels stupid and contrived to me.
It feels like an oversight, especially because it did update in the faction pack, I'm pretty sure.
It did. I thought it did say that they got support. I'm like 73% sure that that's a thing that it said.
Taliban could use to hold the home objective. Well, we'll find a way to make sure that doesn't happen.
He's going to die to my solo exorcist.
Yeah. Oh, these are the old faction packs. New 40k. Death Guard. Death Guard. Rules changes. No, that's
crazy shit to me.
Defiler. Where are you?
There's no CP limit now, so triple Tallyman might be good. You stop that, Longship.
No,
how are you holding your back?
They actually didn't change it. It's not in there.
I thought it was. I was like,
maybe it wasn't. They changed it, but at the same time, maybe we just all hallucinated it.
Maybe I was just having a good dream.
Yeah.
Anyway, Hellbrute came down 5. He was already kind of okay in Mortarian's Hammer. Lord of
I loved him in
10.
Hammer.
Plagueburst Crawler came down 25, which I think seems good.
Yeah.
But the second and third one cost 210. I think Plagueburst Crawlers were already like mostly driving forward anyway, so this seems like it would benefit them.
Every now and then you would lose a unit from full to the indirect from them, but more often than not, they were running at you with because they wanted to shoot their guns all of their guns at you.
Yeah, like I'm a big believer in the like just go forward and hit them with your sticks. Plague Marines came down in 5 and 7 man squads.
Sure.
Plague drones came down 5. Those are specifically the demon ones, not plague drones like the plague.
Not bloat drones.
Bloat drones, yeah. Land Raiders went up. Annihilator Destructors. Death Ray went up for your 3rd unit, which seems fine. The fact that they can 6-inch ingress now feels bad, and I don't like that.
Yeah, I don't know how they Yeah, because they changed the ability to each time this unit is set up on the battlefield using the Deep Strike ability. It can be set up anywhere on the battlefield that's more than 6 inches horizontal away from all afflicted enemy units and more than 8 inches horizontal from all other enemy units. They took the old version of the rule and Control F 9
and then
and
never
8
left
and
to
then
nerf
put it
it.
in
Yeah.
there.
So we shall see if that we shall see if that lasts. But for the time being, it does seem like you can do some crazy shit with some crazy units.
Mm-hmm.
Which
No, please no.
painful. Defiler broadly called the same change. I think it's a little less pronounced
It's
for Death
10
Guard than it
points
is for other
cheaper
armies.
than basically
Oh.
it's CSM is 10 points more than Death Guard, Emperor's Children, and Thousand Sons, which are then 20 points more than the World Eater variant.
I think T-Sun Zone is like a hair more expensive as well. Is it
I think
between
it's the same.
Yeah, sure.
Either way.
It's not enough. It continues to not be enough. It will never be enough. These things
Yeah.
should be more expensive. Also, this one's Overwatch didn't even get nerfed. So like,
Well, this one's shoot back didn't get nerfed is the better way of looking at it.
well, yeah, did Mortarian's rule get changed to be a snapshot? It should have.
No.
Anyway, we're never gonna get through this.
It's
Fed
fine.
bullet drones went up 10 for the third one. Bullet drones with light launchers went up the third one. Mortarian went up 20. Lightbringer went up 10. Tallyman went up 10. Still not support. Really feeling like he should have been support.
I love how all the Nurgle demons went up.
They all get cover now, you see.
Yeah, sure. Sure.
All right, who's up next? It's I would say medium losers for Death Guard. Like
Yeah.
genuinely did kind of get some pretty big changes.
Yeah, with Death Guard, Death Watch, Drukhari. We
Does
are
that
halfway
fucking
done.
matter? Probably not. This is our first Xenos faction. That's because we did Eldar when we were still using AI bullshit.
That is true.
Eldari done.
Drukhari.
Not enough, by the way. I was very upset at how few changes there were to Scourges. I wanted Scourges to get at least another 100 points of nerfs.
They're fine.
Screw you and the horse you rode in on.
Why?
Because I hate Scourges and I think they should be 7,000 points for 5.
Aw, poor Eldari player.
Screw Scourges. Okay, Dissy Raiders changed a bit. That's kind of all I got. They changed.
Yeah, the
How did the
Ravager
Arc
would
one-
disintegrate. The Dissy Ravager is now cheaper than the Darklands variant. It's actually kind of interesting with the cover changes, but
Sure, I'll take your word for it.
Fire
Hand
and
of the
Forget
Archon,
unit.
Cavalites, Homunculus, and Scourges with Heat Lances and Splinter Cannons came down, but notably, no increase. No increase for the other ones. No increase for the ones that everyone plays that are really good and now hit on 2s. No increases for these stupid units.
They can't hit on 2s.
Yes, they can. Their base plus skill 4, and if they fly up a terrain feature using Take to the Skies to get Plunging Fire, they become plus skill 3, and then they stand still for heavy, which gives them +1 to hit.
They don't get heavy.
Scourges have heavy.
Yeah, but they don't get heavy on that because they have
Why
moved
not?
more than 3 inches.
No, because they ignore vertical distance when they take to the skies.
Until the end of the movement. Until the end of this move, ignore it.
Sure.
Which means that you still have moved more than 3 inches.
I think you might be reading it as something that doesn't exist there. Or you could also just park them up there and then have them be hidden and then stand up there already and have headed already.
See, that's the better way of looking
not
at
that
it.
challenging. They have a stay hidden and shoot stratagem.
It's fine. Don't worry about it. Just punch them.
I'm worrying about it. I'm worrying about it quite a lot. I hate Scourges and they should be 1,000,000 points.
Hellions went up
Hellions
5
went
and
up.
10. Mandrakes 5
Cool.
and 10. I don't know why Mandrakes went up, but I guess it's the same thing we were talking about earlier about like all the small units going up.
Except Scourges, apparently. I'm not
but they're not a
better.
small unit.
Reavers went up. Cool.
Yeah.
I feel like these changes here are just like, yeah, we made Sky Splinter 2 for some reason, so
Sky Splinter also caught a huge nerf in
yes,
the change
Challenge Met did
to
get
Challenge Met
significantly.
because now it only works on a fallback move. But I think that they're in a decent spot.
Yeah, I think Drukhari seems fine. Like these changes are good. Scourges are really solid. They have a couple of cool detachments. Agonists works really well with Sky Splinter, or with and obviously Breaver's Wager still very functional. Excuse me. All right, who's up next?
I think it's Emperor's Children.
The Emperor's Children, and that's officially us almost at halfway. You might need to speed this up a little bit.
Uh,
We can just stream forever. One of the two.
it's later for you than for me, although I am
Yeah.
fading. Emperor's Children, Demon Prince went down 10, but your second one cost you 5 more. The Winged Demon Prince is technically 10 points cheaper if you only take 1. As soon as you take 2, you are paying 20 points more than what you were paying before.
Good. You should be allowed 1, but not 2, as always.
Yeah, I will say this is probably, this alongside Defilers is probably the best implementation of the, hey, you're allowed to have 1.
I would
No more.
broadly agree. I would
Flawless
also
went down
say,
again, which they're getting real cheap.
why did Flawless Blades go down again? They are getting kind of ridiculously cheap. They're now
They got like 90
95?
points for 3.
95, I think. They were 100 before, right? So
Flawless
they're
Blades
95.
are now 95 for 3 or 190 for 6.
They're starting to get to like 9th edition 8-bound prices.
I mean, it's an
Heldrake,
move.
ha 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 ha.
Not real.
Lucius the Eternal came down 20, which means he probably goes back in basically every list.
Yeah, because he lost fights first, but he's still an amazing like fighting unit.
Yep. Fulgrim went up 10, which makes sense.
He has the -1 to choose, -1 to hit that you can choose in your opponent's command phase. And that does stack with cover, so
it's very good. Yeah, for sure. I do not think it is crazy to be like, yeah, okay, I think he should be probably slightly more expensive. I think it's okay, but I do also think that it's kind of crazy that he's more expensive at the same time.
Yeah, I think it's fine, but it does it as I kind of wrote on here. It stings. Winged Demon Prince, we already talked about that. Defiler, they're the same cost as the Death Guard ones. They're
still really good, and you'll still play 2 of them in every First Children list, at least one of them, but probably 2 of them in every list, because why wouldn't you?
Yeah, the other 2 nerfs I really don't like. The Lord Exultant now has a triple nerf. Now has a
Good.
sorry, a price on taking 3 of them, and Noise Marines have a price on taking 3 of them.
Good.
I get it. You don't want to see 3 ofs, but this is an army that is like 6 inches.
Look, the army doesn't have any other units to have 3 of, but
I can't pivot to anything else. If you want me to not take Defilers, I'm going to take Noise Marines again, but now that got more. So
I don't care.
Yeah.
Your internal balance is not more important than the army's external balance.
Isn't that the opposite?
No, I think an army's internal balance is less important than how well it plays into the rest of the game. I don't actually care if an army's internally balanced. It has to be externally balanced first.
But then why does putting a Lord Exultant up 10 points matter?
Because running, like, the fact that you can play 3 of them and you almost always do was problematic and made the lists annoying to deal with and very mono build. And yes, okay, you're getting forced to play, like, but if the problem with it is
play the 3 of them, though, is the thing. You're just going to drop a unit to spawn.
Sure, and I think that that's fine. And then the answer to that is that they should print them more data sheets if they want them to be a real army that we respect. Otherwise, we should treat them like agents where we all ignore them and put them in a box. And I would prefer that.
Fair enough.
A little bit. I don't know. I just think that your army doesn't get to coast on, but I don't have any other units to not get nerfed.
It's more of the, like, yeah, it's fine. Let's just talk about Genestealer Cults, one army that makes me mad.
That's fair. It makes me a little mad as well. Why?
Things did not go up as much as they should have.
Things went up significantly more than they should have.
No. There should be a tax on neophytes.
There is. They went up 5 points. What?
No. An actual tax, where as soon as you take more than 3 units of them.
Oh, I don't think I'm going to do that anyway. All right. Ridge Runners went down 10 points for the 2-man squad, but the Lining Lizards went up 20 points and also got attacked of 10 points on the third one. The Locust came down 10, and then a whole bunch of nerfs for an army that had. Can we go and check the dashboard really quickly? A really high win rate. It was really high, wasn't it? That's part of the problem. I don't even have a leg to stand on here. 52% win rate.
Problem. they were like the second or third best army all edition long.
I don't think that's strictly true, but
yeah, actually, statistically, they were in the top 3 with Eldar and Necrons.
That's fair.
They're pretty good. I mean, they were consistently above 50% for most of the edition. And
Aberrants went up 15, and there's
Aberrants did not need to go up.
Abominants went up 10. Well, Aberrants also get hit super hard by the you can't res units that have attached characters now, because, like, who played Aberrants without
so you don't play Aberrants now.
Yeah, Aberrants are genuinely stone cold unplayable.
I expect that will get errated.
I think it has to, otherwise the unit just doesn't function, but that doesn't mean that it will.
We've already found like a half dozen errors in the last hour and a half of us talking in other factions. So the list
Yeah, that's
of
fair.
the list of bug fixes for this
A bunch of crap got like 5-point taxes on 10 and 20 on units and whatever, and went up a little bit and blah blah blah. Pitchfork went up, pure strings went up. By the way, the enhancement that makes them toughness 5, strength 5, and have a 4 up armor save is 30 points, which is it's an upgrade. They're like, you'll play 3 of this, maybe. You gotta pay 110 points for 5 pure strains that still have 4 attacks at 5-2, that would be 4 attacks at 5-2-1. You're gonna pay how many points do you want me to pay for that? Sorry.
Ooh, beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
I was genuinely like, I read that and I was like, oh, this will be like a cute 10-point thing. 30.
To be
30.
fair, I found that most of the upgrades were like that.
Yeah, upgrades are not very good in a lot of places.
No,
The scientist
we
went up
need something.
15,
We don't want to make
which
it
is
too good.
crazy because that guy wasn't even good. He was bad before.
I don't know why he went up. That one I'll agree with.
Yeah, like the enhancement is another 30 points on top of that. Like, make the enhancement 50 points if you have to. If you're that worried about a guy being damage 3, just make him expensive. It's
Yeah,
okay.
I mean it's the same problem like we had with Satan, where it's just like, okay, yeah, that's too good in that thing. To just make that thing more expensive.
Why not just make the well? That was the case. The opposite. They were like, "Oh, we'll make it more expensive in the detachment," but it's like, just make the base cost more expensive. We're okay with you playing them in Pantheon and them being good in Pantheon. Just make them more expensive baseline, which is what they ended up doing.
Yeah. Okay. What is next?
GSE got hit really hard, like genuinely really hard. I'm finding it challenging to build lists for this army right now because every time I build one, it just feels like it doesn't do anything. And especially when you combine that with the character changes, where you just kind of can't res a bunch of the stuff that you would have previously liked to res. It is making it quite challenging to build Unit lists, and I am not super happy with the state of this faction. I think it scores very well, and the fact you get to play reconnaissance and disruption and all that kind of thing is genuinely an upside and may be good enough to keep it out of the doldrums, but it is going to be keeping it out of the doldrums, not making it a really powerful army. And I think that's a shame. I think it would have been okay for GSC to be a bit better than this and to maybe not get like a bunch of the random 5-point increases that they got and to just get like the point taxes on spamming stuff. And I would have been totally fine with acolytes and neophytes getting like that 5 points onto them at the fourth on unit, right? Where it's like where you're actually spamming them. But it feels like they just kind of put it on all of them and we're like, oh, we're not going to put a 10-point tax on the 4th unit. We're just going to put a 5-point tax on all of them, which feels worse to me.
Yep, I'll agree with that.
All right.
Grey Knights?
Grey Knights. Grey Knights got a bunch of changes, and they were
Yeah,
they're in the Imperium article. Come on, guys. We're meant to be putting them in the Space Marine articles now.
Well, let's. No one knows. Grey Knights don't even know where they belong. Look, Titan disappeared. Terminators went down if you're taking 4s or 5s for Paladins and Terminators. I don't think like for Terminators, maybe it's kind of interesting, but
10 Paladins are still 450 points, by the way.
Yes. Yeah. The 10 strong units did not change.
And they're
Dread
still
Knights,
trash, right?
Dread Knights went down 25 on the Grandmaster and 15 on the Dreadnought. But the thing is that the good range weapons basically balance that out. So
yep. They're like exactly the same point. I think the Grandmaster's 10 points cheaper if you
don't run the Melta.
Yes, and they're 5 points more expensive if you do, which I think is fine because they do benefit a ton from the psychic changes, but
I did not know that was a psychic Melta.
I believe it is. The Sublimator, I think, is psychic.
Yeah, it is. That's what I meant. Like, I did not realize that it was.
Right, which is nice.
Yes, you can drop in half range. Like, they made out pretty well from a bunch of rules changes, so this is fine. The Redeemer went down 20 points. Can we stop trying to make this happen again?
The Redeemer coming down is like genuinely almost worrying.
They did it for all the Marines by 20, and I went, no, just no. And
it's genuinely almost worrying too much, or am I allowed to say just worrying? Like the Redeemer coming down in points is a bad change and should not need to happen. And I think it would have been okay to wait and see what the edition looked like with Toe into Ruins. Mine's in my cupboard and coming out again.
This is number 2 of 3. I want to do something stupid.
Oh, Christ. Yeah, I think the Redeemer is potentially very scary. Like new Overwatch is like the relative value of Torrent Overwatch has gone up a bunch, I think is the easiest way to describe it, because most things are not good at Overwatch.
No, Ignore Cover got worse.
Yeah, but the ability to Overwatch in general got better, right? Because most Overwatch, like I think that the kind of the way that I've described this to people is that the range of things that are good at overwatching shrunk, but the power of Overwatch did not, right? Overwatch is still a
Yeah.
great thing to be able to do and still a really powerful control tool. So having a powerful version of it is now more impactful than it was before, even if the power of the Overwatch didn't get stronger, because less things are good at it now.
Yeah. And then in terms of nerfs for Grey Knights, all of their Psychonons cost them 5 points now. Like all the infantry mounted ones, which I don't think was necessary.
I think it's fine because they gained the psychic change on top of this. I think it's okay.
I just for me it feels like it wasn't necessary, but I guess it'll probably come out in the wash. I think they could have made the base squad a little bit cheaper because they didn't do that. The unit just went up in price.
That's fair. I just don't think you'll play. I think the other versions are like. I think that the fact that the silencers are also probably still pretty good and the flamers have always been okay is fine.
Yeah.
Also, like a charge modifier is like in relative terms because every charge is an inch longer now than it used to be. The value of adding an inch to or adding 2 inches to your opponent's charge distance goes up, right? Because it shrinks their range, their threat range more
Yeah,
substantially.
it means a
So
4 or lower is an autofill kind of thing.
yeah, I do think that that has a relative value on units like purgations. The librarian going up 10 is strange. Crow and the purifiers going up is totally fine. I think that makes sense.
Voltus
Voltus
going up
going
30 makes sense
also
because
fine.
again,
-1 to hit is good.
yep, same thing we've seen elsewhere. Grey Knights
Um,
overall,
yeah, Granite's overhaul, I think they made out pretty well. I don't think you'll want to play like 5 or 6 Dread Knights, which I think is a good thing, right? I think one of the things that I want to say here as well is that it's probably okay if this army debuts like slightly weak, but you don't play 5 and 6 Dread Knights, right? Like
yeah.
that would be the ideal because then you're like, okay, we can put something on the infantry or the Terminators or something like that, but we're not going to push you into 5 or 6 Dread Knights because that's just not what we want. And the scaling tax is a great way to encourage you to play a couple of them, but not to spam them. And I think that's what I like.
Yeah, I think that's a good way of looking at it. I'm again just going to point out the hilarity of that if you take a second Grey Knight Thunderhawk, it costs 50 points more than the first one did.
I mean, you just if you're playing two Thunderhawks, you're in it for the love of the game, and I'm there for you. So
Casual 1,660 points.
1660. That's beautiful. That's as it should be. I like how 3 Stompers is 2,000 points when we get to it, but you can't play it because you can't have a character.
Poor Shap.
That will make Chap the most upset because he's like, I can play 3 Stompers, but I can't play 3 Stompers.
It's gonna be so sad.
I think they should have made it so you could run they should have been like exactly enough points that you could run the cheapest character alongside 3 of them. It would have been awful
Well, it can't
to
be a
play
mech because
against.
they're
I'm
support
glad
now.
they didn't. But all right, who's up next? We have
Imperial Agents technically, but they're not real.
Look, I'm sorry, Imperial Agent players. Games Workshop don't love you, and unfortunately, I don't have any second-hand love for you either. Imperial Agents are notably hit by the nerf that Custodes players must now bring a Custodes model to be their warlord.
Which means Draxus might get cheaper.
Watchmaster Artemis or Watch Captain Artemis is really good now. If you've not tried him, he's a 65-point pseudo lone operative because he's hidden and he stands back up on a 2-up, and he's really annoying. If you need just like a priority asset to do an action guy, try Artemis.
I've played against him before. He is very funny. The other amusing thing is that all their detachments are 3DP, so they're just kind of like, no,
they
don't
can't
do
access
anything.
take and hold, which is so stupid.
Sure,
just can't get it. No take and hold.
And the immolators are technically cheaper. But not really.
Actually, emulators did go up, right? Their one anti-tank weapon went up.
Yeah, the multi-melter went up. Sorry.
That probably needed to happen. That makes sense to me.
Yeah, I don't think it needed to happen for agents. But on to Knights.
Okay, Knights were one of the armies that I looked at and I was like, wow, I'm surprised there weren't more changes here to the nerf side.
Yeah, this army doesn't make sense to me. So Dominus Knights went down 10 points. And then the second one cost you 20 points more. So a Castellan is now 400 points, which seems too cheap for what you get out of it. Especially when you have access to a 1 DP detachment that just gives you +1 to hit, basically.
I don't like a lot of what's going on here. If I could be honest with myself, I'm a little worried about Imperial Knights.
Yeah, and like the Defender went down 15 points.
And the Defender got a lot better.
Yeah, because the Defender gives cover to everyone behind him and a 4-up invuln.
Look, I've played
rather than stacking them before. Now it is a like, you hit me worse, and I still get a pretty good save.
Yep. Yeah, I've
So
played a decent amount of Gate Warden Lance, and I was playing it with like old points, and my army got cheaper
that shouldn't
by and
happen.
large. Which,
Because Kate Lance also went from a line like this to a line like this.
yeah, it's a 13-inch line now.
And then the Acheron Castigator went on 15. I mean, the Castigator's decent actually in
It's
Spearhead.
decent in Spearhead at arms, but it's probably worse than the Warden because it only gives it sustained at range, where the Warden gives it in all phases.
Yeah, it does give +1 AP, whereas the Warden gives ignore cover, or is it the other way around?
I think the Castigator gives ignore cover, the Warden gives +1 AP, which actually means they are different now, where they before they were just kind of the same
So
thing.
it's an interesting discussion to be had around that. But when you're coupling them with Helverns, for example, which ignore cover on objectives, it gets kind of interesting.
Is that what Helverns do?
I think that's what they do now. They used to have anti-flight 2 up.
I thought they suppressed.
Oh, maybe it's suppressed.
Yeah, they suppress.
Helvern.
Who knows? Desture went up. The Desture is really good now.
Oh, yeah, it's -1 to hit, which again is pretty good.
Yeah, the Desture is really good now. Its ignore cover feels much more relevant. Its baseline AP1 feels much more relevant, and towering helps it actually hit with its guns because it doesn't have a ton of strength. And hitting on 3s is pretty rough for it. The Desture is usually getting danger close. It's very fast. It moves like a demon on these boards. Destroyer, good. Also now cheaper than a Defiler.
I do still love that. Oh, that's hilarious! I'm looking at the unit composition entry in the manual, in the app, and the escalation cost is listed under base size. Because
your base size goes up as you play more.
Go unit composition, one Night Destroyer, yada yada yada, model name, count 1 points, and then base size. After the second selection of this unit, additional selections of this unit each cost plus 15 points, and then base size again, and gives you the actual.
I think you should add the escalation is 50 points and another base of that size. So
you just have a second base that you like.
But my Destroyer is going to be on the line, is what I'm getting.
Man, that pivot.
How are you towing back to the line? However the fuck I want.
Yeah, like an extra 15 points on that platform was fine. They were probably too cheap at 250 for a night, for like a 2/3 of a night.
I think they were probably fine at 250, but I also am not sad to see them go up.
Yeah, and it's a small.
The melee one still kind of sucks. I honestly think it would have been okay for it to be like 15 points for the second gun, maybe kind of space, rather than being 15 points on the base cost, because the melee one is not that good.
Yeah, like you could have charged for the Gatling cannon.
Yeah, exactly. Just be like, hey, if you want to play Frag and Gatling, it's 15 points.
For the stuff that charges for upgrades,
it's only ever an upgrade that isn't the base weapon, right?
I think that's the case, which again, really bad if that's how they did it.
Yeah, I haven't seen one that doesn't work like that before. I think you could have done it that way, where you were like the Destroyer. Yeah, because the base Destroyer is equipped with. It's equipped with the double Gatling to begin with, so
that's why I was just wondering, because if they are doing it that way, then that's maybe why
they can't print minus points if you equipped it with the Reaper and the Thundershock or something like that. I don't like that.
No,
did you say there was
not actually what they did?
Have they released a rules commentary that says that Tank Shock is the same thing as Crushing Impact yet?
Yeah, it's under the stratagems entry in the core rules. So this is something actually we can talk about real brief. This is kind of just a side that maybe I'll want to clip out later. The rules commentary that we're used to seeing as like a separate doc is now just inserted into each of the sections. So I'll actually pull up my screen here and I'll show you guys what I mean by this.
It would be great if you could like find it in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, that would be nice. Share screen. There's the button. Screen. This one. Now people can see how I use the app on my computer. So if you're looking at the app, one of the things they've now done, one, the numbering is amazing. I love that I can just give a number reference for someone to go look at. But you'll see here is that there are additional entries sometimes underneath here, where these are the commentary entries that they've added as kind of like extra information. So for example, healing or regaining lost wounds. This is something that wasn't in the core rules at all. This explains how a unit heals or regains and how models heal or regain wounds, because they do work differently. So if
Sure.
you're healing, this is the kind of the thing where it came up with AdMech. If you wanted to
Mhm.
heal with one of your tech priests, they specifically heal models, not units, which means you can't do things like
As
resurrect
does notably
chickens.
the Shadow of Chaos for demons does not heal units, the D3 wounds. It heals the model, so you can't heal a Beast of Nurgle back to full and then bring the other one back and then heal it to full automatically. That doesn't
Yeah,
work.
although the Beast of Nurgle is always at full.
No, I mean like if you had a unit of two of them, if you
Yeah,
lost
yeah.
one of them, if the Shadow of Chaos heal was D3 wounds to the unit, you'd be able to bring a
Yes.
Beast of Nurgle back
The
at
the
one
the
wound
the
and then
heal basically does nothing for beasts.
yeah, it does nothing, which is good. Can you
I
show
don't
me
need beasts
the
coming
tank
back.
shock one to start, and then I have a question for you that's gonna
Yeah.
make me mad.
So this should be under other concepts. Nope.
It's very easy to search this app.
Well, I can actually just search it. Army detachment rules, gain core CP, stratagems. There you go. So this is the stratagem entry. So
Yep.
using stratagems, how you use them all, modifying CP cost, affected by stratagem definitions, CP reroll. It explains how it uses, what you can use it for, all that jazz. Epic challenge. It actually gives you the full detail, which nice. What you're wondering
Same as
about,
it does now. Yeah.
yeah, what you're wondering about is crushing impact. So you have this here. This is the thing that it does. And then you'll notice down here, where'd it go?
Nothing of the sort.
It was in there. Give me a second.
Do you have to have the thing that sets on like show erratas and things like that?
I don't know, to be honest, but I'm going to check something real quick.
'Cause
But
I haven't seen anything that says the tank shock. Did you know that orcs have a stratagem called Crushing Impact, by the way?
yes, I did know that.
I just learned that.
So there's
That's
nothing for
really
tank
annoying.
shock.
Yeah, I don't see any reason that Tank Shock and Crushing Impact are the same stratagems. So currently, any ability that says it works on Tank Shock doesn't currently work.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is that in the, so I've been talking about this appendix for like 2 weeks now. In the appendix that we were given for review purposes, the Tabletop Battle Team, it like basically called out each one of those. So I don't know where that is now, which is
Yep.
concerning.
Okay, I have a question for you, Jeremy. Could you go and find rule 19.04 for me by searching? You just search.
No, but
Well, no, don't go through that way.
but I
Just
know
go to
where it
search.
is.
Just go to search
Yeah.
and type in
Oh, if I do,
19.04 for me. It does work.
yeah, yeah. All right, cool.
That's good. I like that.
So if I give someone 19, like 17.02, huh? Well, I'll be.
That's not 17.02.
No, because it basically refers back to it.
Yeah, I think that's handy. I would like it. Note for anyone who's watching from Games Workshop, if you type in that 17.02 again, if it said 17.02 in the search function when I typed in the rule number, and well, not just the thing that referred to it. Anyway, that's all I had on there. Shall we go back to getting some data sheet reviews done?
Yep. Boom.
All right. Who is up next after Imperial Knights? We have Votan.
Yep. I will run us
Sagittar
through
down
this real
5.
quick.
Uthar down 5 for some reason. Steeljack's down 5 and 10. Capric is down 5 and 10 for the one that fire and fades. Einherjar Champion down 5. Landforce is up 10 and 25 for the second on. Good change. Brokir up 10 for the third unit and 10 baseline. Einherjar up 5 and 10 or up for the third unit. Arcus Value up 5. Hazardous changes are big for that guy, as good in our notes.
Yeah,
Frontier Pioneers went up 10 for the third unit.
he goes from failing 2 hazardous change tests and dying to failing 4.
Yeah, well, he also only fails. He fails on 1s, 2s, and 3s instead of 1s and 2s, which like is not as big a deal now.
Mhm.
For 2 reasons, because it's only like he took 3 times as much damage from hazardous before to now taking 50% more damage from hazardous. So net is 6 times more durable to hazardous checks. Yeah, he went from having to
Something like
fail
that.
2 to having to fail 4 to die, and the hazardous checks are like relatively more likely, right? So
Yeah, it's something like that. But
yeah, very, very. It was not uncommon for this guy to die after firing twice, and now he will not. He will be able to play almost the entire game consistently, and you will never need to like spend a CPU roll on him or anything like that as well.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Generally, I think they're fine. I
fine.
had a
Yeah.
good I had a good chuckle when it comes to Votan. I took my 2,000 points Codex release list from a year ago, put it in the app, and it's still 2,000 points on the nose.
The most Warhammer army of Warhammer because it plays the
Most
most
fair
Warhammer
and
per
boring
Warhammer.
army you will play, but I've played them a lot, and they are quite fun still.
Plays the most Warhammer per Warhammer of all the Warhammers.
Exactly.
Oh,
Far Seekers is also a really fun 1DP plug into any of the twos because
sure.
they have a 1 CP ignore cover strat.
Can we whinge about Necrons now? Is it whinge about Necrons time?
Are they next? Yes, they are. We can whinge about Necrons.
This isn't enough back lore to tabletop battles. What are you doing? Get your shit together.
I like how orcs are before Necrons.
Why did Warriors go down in points, Jeremy?
Because their
Who
leaders
do
went
they
up.
hate?
That's why.
Who do they hate?
That's exactly why. Because their leaders went up.
Who do they hate? Who do they hate, and why is it us?
I
Why
don't
is it
fucking know
everybody?
why they went down.
Why is it everybody? Why did Warriors go down? Why did Warriors, one of the most frustrating units in the game, that now can res when their character's the last thing alive, so they're even more fucking ignorable?
Well, like you can also just res the character and then res the unit off of them.
I don't like any of that, Jeremy. I think that unit could afford to be that. Like Awakened Dynasty just needs to cost 1,000 points.
You look
like,
forward to wiping 20 warriors and the character, and then paying 1 CP to
bring back the character and
bring
then
back
the other
character.
character and the 20 warriors.
Mhm.
I hate it. I hate everything about it.
Because they can
Reanimation
also,
protocols
here's the really
is
fun one, if you precision out one of those characters, because of how healing works now, you can bring
they'll
back
just
the
res them
character
back.
before the
Yeah.
other idiots.
I hate all of it. I hate everything about
Yeah,
this.
no,
Reanimation
Necrons are going to be
protocols.
a serious problem with the changes that are here because
Reanimation protocols might be like the most broken rule in the game. Not the most powerful, but the most broken rule in the game
the
right now.
coherency nerf. Yeah, no. You usually were shoving 20 warriors on the objective and saying, this is mine.
Like you could even do stuff like now where you're like, oh, my character's in an awkward spot and I don't like him there. Oh, I'm gonna actually just like kill these two Necron warriors that are keeping coherency to Oricon, so he dies and I can res him somewhere else to get Oricon, like to teleport Oricon from the back of the unit to
People
your front
hate
of your
this
unit.
one trick to get to move their character 3 times as
Yeah,
far.
like you could do that, right? You're just like, oh, my Necron warrior squad's got it's like a maximum coherency. Oricon's at the back, units at the front. You shoot me with some guns. I kill the two warriors that are keeping coherency to Oricon. He dies. I use the
2,
res strat. I
1.
res Oricon back at the front of the unit, and then I'm in range to heroic you or in range to walk forward and charge you.
I hate it. Thanks.
Like I can't think of any reason why that wouldn't work.
Yeah. Why did Locust Destroyers go down?
I don't know. I don't know why anything happened in this document.
Like, so Locust Destroyers went down 20 for 6 of them, which,
Yep.
sure, you weren't really seeing them, but also, like, they're
You weren't
in a
not
really
seeing them
good
because they were
spot.
bad. You weren't seeing them because they had other good options. It's not
And
like
that's
they're a
exactly
bad
it. We're
unit.
like, now this is just another good option for them.
Look, there is, but I just don't know if I agree that that's meant to still exist.
That is rules that trigger reanimation protocols, not reanimation protocols in general.
Yeah, like it's like you can't use the reanimation protocol stratagem, I guess, but like that seems wrong.
Yeah.
The Night Scythe got better and came down 20 points, which seems kind of interesting.
I'm looking forward to seeing 2 croissants on tables now. And by looking forward to, I mean I'm going to be really pissed if I start seeing those again.
Annihilation Barge came down 10. It's fine.
And then everything
Flayed
you're
Ones
already
came down
taking went down
5
5
for
points.
some reason, and some other shit.
Well, Flayed Ones have stealth, so they don't benefit from it as much now. So clearly they need to be cheaper.
Wraiths and Technomancers went up for the second +1, but the first one is still the same points, which is relatively a buff because they're now easier to keep alive because the Technomancer can still res when he's just a Technomancer now instead of before. And he also keeps the Feel No Pain when he's on his own, so he's more likely to not die in the first place. And you can't precision him out because the Wraiths will just res him back.
Tell us how you really feel, Dennis.
Right? Wait, what? Were you gonna precision out the Wraith? You gonna precision out the Technomancer, Jeremy? He's gonna come straight back. He doesn't care.
No, he really doesn't. Sure. All the Satans went up like 15 to 20 points. They got better. Like,
yep.
They flat got better because they benefit from cover now. They didn't really benefit from cover before. Now they do.
I mean, they did benefit from cover before in some situations, but yeah, this is a good change.
Against like AP1.
The Monolith went up 20 and 40. This feels like This is very targeted at Hand of the Pharaon, or Pharaon's Armory. Sorry,
Why
which
write it
like
then?
I don't know. Oh, I'm just assuming that someone wrote it and they're like, well, we've got to figure out how to point that thing into being okay in the game. Like we couldn't
Sure.
just change a 6 to a 4. That would be
Yeah.
impossible. That's beyond the scope of what were allowed to do here.
Oh, yeah, there were
Chronomancer went
4.
up 15 and 25. They are so good,
I suppose one to hit for your unit. That's pretty good.
and it's their support now as well.
So
Saris
you can
went up
always double
10,
attach.
still not include.
That's the
DDA's
question: is
went up
Aura
20
can
for the
support?
third one, and like whatever, who cares? I did see an incredible meme of Trazen making fun of Oricon because like, oh, I'm a leader and you're a support, which I did think was funny.
Yeah, that is
Was
actually quite
abstract.
funny.
Um,
That means that you can have Trazen lead Oricon, like them both leading the same squad, and just be, and you
I mean,
could
you already could, but now
no,
one of
but
them is
more of the like now you can do that with that.
yeah.
lore.
Trazen is leading and Oricon is supporting. Yeah, you see.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see, a wise guy. Eh?
Go read The Infinite and the Divine, everyone. It's an amazing book.
These changes are stupid.
Yeah, no, it's
These are bad changes, and reanimation protocols needs to be rewritten somehow in some way.
Yeah, just
Reanimation protocols just should not be allowed to return character models to units. It just
and
should
they
not
shouldn't
be
work on on Satan. Satan do not have reanimation
I
protocols.
don't.
They have living
Quite
metal.
frankly, I'm past caring about Catan. I've one
No,
shot enough
I'm
of them
still
with the
mad.
pilers. The reanimation protocol should not let you return. It needs to get the change that like even like hospitals at least say bodyguard models. You just need to change reanimation protocols to say return bodyguard models to the unit. Oh, do you know my actual? I was speaking about
Actually,
this
no,
on
just
the
that should
Fireside
just
content.
apply to all healing.
That's probably fair. I did some content with Fireside yesterday. Do you know what my current favorite rules interaction is from New Precision? Precision
Go
no
on.
longer says attached character is what you precision out. It just says character.
Yes.
So you can now precision out the Silent King, which does automatically kill his Menhirs. So if you have something like the Nightbringer or a unit that like could kill you could conceivably fail 3 saves to the Nightbringer, but the odds you fail 5 is pretty terrible. You're just like, well, fuck it. I'm going for broke. Sugar get swung, baby.
You know what? I like it. And anyone who knows the history of the channel a little bit, Nathan, if you're listening, it's now legal.
Yeah, I mean, I've had a bunch of clients be like, "Yeah, my Silent King got precision." I'm like, "Your Silent King got what?" That's not a thing that worked in 10th edition.
Yeah, and like now it also works against things like the unattached Celestine and whatnot. Like that's largely
the only way
a good
to get
change.
her feel no pain back.
Yeah, it's the only way she gets her feel no pain now. Well, that and dying in a single activation, but
it's crazy that Calgar would have almost been balanced, and they just got rid of him. All right,
that is a very funny interaction.
Changes.
I
am
the interaction that got me on precision, by the way, is that only one model with precision needs to see the character.
Yeah.
If like you have 20 idiots that have precision for some reason because you paid a CP on them, and only one of them can see the character, everyone's attacks can go on them.
Yep. As far as I understand, it only has to be one model in the unit for the guy with precision. Like if you have a character, then one guy can see the character can precision. It doesn't say. It says when you allocate attacks, not when that model allocates attacks.
It is when you have one or more models with precision, one or more attacks with precision, if one or more of those attacking models.
Sure, I'll take your word for it. I was told other things, but I'm just gonna let someone at WDG tell me.
Either way, it's a weird thing, and I think it might get fixed. But at the same time,
okay. Shall we talk about another army I'm a little mad about?
Orcs.
Yeah, where's the nerf section, man? What?
There isn't one. Because
no, exactly.
Technically, Gretchen went up 5 points.
The banner knob is okay. The big boss is pretty solid. He gives sustained hits. He's probably not good. He's not good in Warhorde, but like as an option for Green Tide and things like that, pretty reasonable. The Big Mech Daka rig doesn't seem very good.
Big
the War Track
is support. So
points. The big boss is support.
I'm pretty sure.
I thought he wasn't like intentionally because he's meant to be like a separate guy that goes.
Oh no, he is leader.
Yeah, because he's like another guy that goes alongside the war boss. Now, as I understand it, you can still play him and a war boss in a boys squad because they can have double leaders as long as one of them's a war boss.
Which means you can double leader and support.
I don't see a reason why not, apparently.
I feel like that's unintended.
I
So you could
couldn't
do
find a
War
rule
Boss,
that says
Big
you can only
Boss,
have 2
and
attached characters now.
Pain Boy?
Yeah, I couldn't see a reason that says you can only have 2 attached characters now, so
Yeah, I guess they figured that they must have fixed that because there used to be an entry in the rules that said no more than 2.
yeah. So I don't think you should do that, but you can do that. You could also theoretically do, like I guess you could do, like, him plus Gaz plus a
Pain
Pain
Boy?
Boy in,
Or
like,
a
Green
Weird
Tide
Boy?
to keep the sustained hit stratagem. Or to keep the sustained hit so that you would
Oh
still
no,
have it
Weird
with,
Boy's a
like
leader.
yeah, because then you could still have it with the crit 5s from, Gazgul in the Wa in, like, Green Tide or
Yeah.
Holy Wars.
The actual only support for orcs are the Banner Knob and the Pain Boy.
Yeah. And I'm guessing probably the other Pain Boy, the Pain whatchamacallit guy.
No, he's not.
Oh, is he not? That's
The
very
Pain
funny.
Boss is a boss,
Oh,
so
it's
he's a
because he's a
leader.
boss, yeah.
Yeah, he can't be. He can't. He's no support.
He's a boss and an old romantic.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what happened with orcs. Battle
Fine.
Wagons went down. They didn't need to.
But the arcade game is still 15 points, so I
So
think
it's the
that
same cost
stays
as
the
it was
same.
before,
Yeah.
but
You can play a cheaper one if you want it to be bad. I think that's fine.
yeah, I guess.
Beast Boss and Squigosaurus. Squigs came down and Mozart came down. Fine, whatever. Beast Snaggers probably didn't need to come down on the 20-man, but I guess it makes sense because they don't fight in ranks as easily now, so it's not as sketchy as it could have been.
I don't think they struggled that much into most
I
things
don't
that they would want
either.
to swing into before.
Especially with the how flexible new charge rules are.
Yep.
Breaker Boys for some reason came down.
Along with Tank Busters?
For no reason. Deathcopters came down 20 and were already winning GTs.
Mm-hmm.
The Stomper came down 200, and honestly, the first one might be okay in Dread Mob. It does a lot of damage.
It does a lot of damage to itself, that's for sure.
It does, but again, relative to what it used to do, it's only like it does 50% more damage with hazardous checks to itself now instead of 100% more damage to itself with hazardous checks. Like the relative downside is lower. Because you used to fill on 1s and 2s, and now you fill on 1, 2s, and 3s. So relative, it only fills 50% more.
Yeah, that's fair.
As opposed to failing 100% more like it used to. Now, it's still scary because it's still 50% more than it used to, but
yeah, and it does have 6 guns.
Yeah, you could just choose not to fire the stubbers and stuff, though. They're the
That's
big
true.
shoes and stuff, right? Like you don't have to fire those. Like most of a stomper is concentrated in. If I go and have a look at his ranged weapons, it is 3 big shooters, a death cannon, a scorcher, a super gatler, super rockets, and a twin big shooter, right? So it's like, okay, so I fire the super gatler, I skip the twin big shooter, I skip the scorcher, that's a regular heavy flamer, I skip the big shooters, I fire the super rockets, the death cannon, and the super gatler, that is 3 guns with 20 plus d6 plus 3d6 shots, many of which are d6 plus 2 damage. Like, and
Yeah,
like that's still fine, right? You just don't
that's
have to fire
like
the
even
other
if it's at minus 1 ballistic skill and it's only hitting on 60s, that's still terrifying.
Yeah, like on average, it takes 4.5 mortal wounds from that activation, but it does have 30.
That's true.
Like, yeah, okay. Sorry, buddy, you're not getting your Scorcha. Whoop-de-doo. Yeah, reroll
Also,
hits and +1 to hit from a mech. It also gets towering. Like, it's easier to move now. Like, look, I'm not saying I think the Stomper is good, but I would not be surprised if it was workable now. Also, orcs are almost definitely getting a codex pretty soon, right? Like, they'll
be one of the first 2.
Yeah.
They'll do something to compete about which one comes out first, like they did for Nids and Space Marines. I expect orcs will probably come up before Space Marines because they're cooler, but
I hope Space Marines come out before orcs, and orcs never come out, and orcs go to Legends. But unfortunately, I don't think I'm likely to be matched on that one.
I want Ultramarines to go to Legends, and I'm never going to get that.
That's fair too. All right, let's do regular Space Marines, I guess.
All right. Oh, we should have done these.
Surprisingly few changes.
It's a whole lot of 5s that I just kind of go, eh.
Yeah, I don't really cares. Yeah. Desos came down 20 because they kind of suck now. Judicar came down 15 because he kind of sucks now. The Redeemer, for some reason, came down 20, which is insane.
Outriders down 10 is kind of interesting. 3 of them for 70 points
think they suck.
I like them with Samael.
I still think they suck. Redemptors came down 10, but the plasma cost 10. Repulsor came down 10. Repulsor at 170, very good. Very, very strong
Yes.
data sheet. Does a lot. Very, very easy delivery for a lot of 10-man stuff like Librarius' Sternguard squad. If you didn't want to play Ventress, because Ventress got nerfed with the Vector change, I think it's very reasonably like, oh, my delivery mechanism is going to be a Repulsor, and be completely happy with that. Subordinate coming down 15 is kind of cool. Spear Point is a 2 DP detachment, and him with that Riders is genuinely kind of nice. So yeah, don't blame it. This is Tabletop Battles, by the way. We're just cribbing their articles from the. This is the website formerly known as Goonhammer, I think is the easiest way to describe it.
Yeah.
We have Terminator Assault Squads, which
tabletopbattles.com.
did not come down because their Thunderhammers cost 5 points, and the Thunderhammers are the only war gear option that exists.
It's not entirely true.
Don't try to gaslight me, Jeremy. The lightning claws are fake. They're bad.
Lightning claws and blood angels.
Do you want to be 3 wounds in a world of Catan on a world of Defilers, Jeremy? You gonna lie to me like
Defiler that? If the Defiler wasn't as prevalent, you would.
And if my Defiler had wheels, it'd be a bike. But
no, it's not like an English Carbonara.
It's what?
That's where that joke is from.
I know it is. I'm just trying to. Sure. Vulcan came down 15 for reasons. Reasons unknown to man or beast.
I think they looked for Ignore's cover and reduced costs on things.
Like they just searched for Ignore's cover plus torrent. Oh, where's my Infernus Marine points drop? What the fuck? Those things are terrible.
I think they might have come down actually.
Ben, if you win a 100+ player size event with a Stomp, I'll 100% come to Vegas. There you go. You'd have to win an event with something that wasn't a Defiler, which I'm not convinced you can do. But
oh, poor Ben.
I love him really. That's why I'm winding him up. I'm going to Vegas anyway, but I want to get him to use a Stomper while I use my Warhound. Yeah, the Whirlwind came down 15, which honestly I like the first Whirlwind conceptually. I think it is
because it's Battleshock, right?
Kind of fine. It's also just like can just sit in your home objective and contribute to the game while still holding your home if you're playing like take and hold missions, and then also can just like drive forward and be a gun.
Like, sure, it hits on forest, but like it was hitting on forest before.
Never need your oath. You just chip some wounds. It can interact with hidden things as well, which is something that not a lot of stuff can do. Like my Victor's Guard squad's going to charge forward. It clips line of sight on a guy that's in a building that's hidden. Cool. I hit it on 4s. I reroll 1s because I'm playing Ceramite Sentinels. I kill 3 of the dudes, make them take a Battleshock test. They take a natural Battleshock test, and they don't on Battleshock. They don't hold their expansion, right? It's very easy for somebody to cascade off of like a unit that's not that bad sitting on your home objective, that isn't that expensive and is reasonably durable in your backfield. I don't hate it.
Yeah,
we can do a show match,
but at 175 points though, that's a repulsor.
It is also a repulsor, yeah. It's also 2 land speeders, but Tagiri his went up 20 and the Repex went up 10. There's also a bunch of like small changes. Seems fine. JPIs came down 5. I think is the only real one that I like really noticed and felt interesting to buy. The Apothecary also came down to 40, which is really compelling if you have a unit that is like paying 35 or more points for its model. If you're paying less than 45, 35, I don't think it's worth it. Like I don't think I'm like that interested in bringing back a Blade Guard. But if you have like a durability mechanic increase and a unit that's reasonably expensive, I don't hate the concept of it. I don't hate it.
Interesting in like ICC and Wrath of the Rock.
Yeah, I could see that.
-1 to hit, -1 to wound, bring back models, 4-up invuln.
Yeah, what else got support? Let me have a look. The Ancient Terminator Army, the Apothecary, the Biologist, the Blade Guard Ancient.
Kato.
No more solo Blade Guard Ancient, no more solo Lieutenant and Phobos Armor.
Wardens got support. That was one of the fun ones. They
Wardens
also went
did get support.
15 points, I think it was.
What are they now?
110.
They did also go up 15 points, yeah. Which fine.
Again, at 110, they're still amazing.
My favorite thing about the unit is it's a librarian for Librarius Conclave.
Stop that. It is, but stop that.
What? Why stop? It's really funny in Reclamation Force where they're -1 to wound and -1 strength to incoming weapons, and their -1 to wound isn't capped because they have Titus.
Yeah. Basically, your supports are Ancients, Apothecaries, Lieutenants.
Wardens.
Yeah, they're not real.
And Kato Sicarius.
Like I said, Ultramarines to Legends.
Yeah. So what we know is that Calgar tops and Kato bottoms is what we learned from the.
No, Kato just supports him. Someone needs to hold the gauntlets.
He's supports in the chair. Yeah, Marines made out pretty well. I think the changes here.
They got a decent amount of tweaks and changes. I did laugh that Reavers went down again. They're 75 points now.
I still think they're bad.
They are.
I am putting my money on Ironstorm to be the first attachment to go from 2 to 3.
I agree. It should have always been 3.
I can't believe they put Ironstorm at 2.
I got to play Ironstone Fulguris. Let's go.
Ironstorm Librarious Conclave, also very solid. She's like, this is my repulsor. It
Also,
replaced
Ironstorm is
Gladiator Reaper I
purged,
was
so you just
playing.
kind of look at that and go,
What are my 7 favorite Space Marine vehicles?
Speeder, more speeder.
The dirty secret of how you build Ironstorm. What are your 7 favorite Space Marine vehicles? Just play them. It doesn't actually matter that much. You're just going to table people. All right, next up we have...
After Space Marines, we are into Space Wolves.
Did Space Wolves get, like, any changes?
It's at the bottom of the article.
I don't care about the army, so
not really.
it would be hard for them to get any changes I cared about. But
Wolf Scouts went down 10 and 20, which they were already a pretty good unit.
Yeah.
Blood Claws went down 15. Cool. Wolfguard Terminators went down, but they pay 5 for the Storm Shield, so they didn't actually go down. They actually went up.
They don't, because you usually play the one guy with the Assault Cannon in per 5, so they actually stay the same. They're more expensive if you play the bad loadout.
Fair
Remember,
enough.
the Wolfguard Terminators do hit on 2s with their ranged weapons for some reason.
They hit on 3s in melee.
They do?
That's so wrong.
Wolfguard
Terminators went up and Head Takers went up. Like, they basically didn't change.
I don't know why Fenris Wolves needed to change. They're C0 and Head Takers, whatever. Who cares? Like, they are, like, notably beasts do get hidden now, which is kind of nice. So,
yeah, I guess.
Yeah. Space will still play 2 for Purge of the Foe for not Purge of the Foe. Still pay 3 for Stormlance, unlike Blood Angels, because they're better at using it. Thunderbolts didn't change.
They don't have alternative detachments that give them the same thing, but better.
Yeah, I really feel like a bunch of these data sheets in Space Marines could have had and Wolfguard Terminators added to the bottom of the list of units they attach to. Do the Space Marine ones are like, because like
they list everything now.
The thing with it is, right? Like, I'm gonna jump over to a different tab for a second.
Yep.
This tab here now includes all of the regular Space Marine data sheets.
Yes.
They are not listed. They're listed on this big ass banner here in a really cool font that says Space Wolves. There is no reason that this data sheet here that is on the Space Wolves page needs to say Deathwatch Terminator Squad,
because it's one entry for all of them. They all say that. Even if you just go to the Space Marines page, it shows
why
that.
Can't this just why can't this just say Wolfguard Terminators? Why?
I don't know. They when they released the Space Wolves supplement, they seemed obsessed with making it so that only Space Wolves specific characters could lead Space Wolves units.
Yeah, Space Wolves are space races. That's
like
what I'm
that design space now. I thought it could have been interesting.
So stupid. Because no one else has this. If they start doing this for other ones, but only Wolves got this. Black Templars didn't get this. No one else got this. Just Space Wolves.
Yeah. To be fair, Black Templars are usually just running their characters anyways.
Oh, one thing that we can probably call out here while we're here, new data sheets. Eradicators with heavy bolters are 70 and 80. I think these are pretty good. Vanguard veterans are 100 points.
So I'm wondering, because the Vanguard veterans,
yep,
we didn't get an updated data sheet for them.
If I'm going to go open my app now and see what it tells us that they do. Oh, we did. It was in the Armageddon pack. It was in the Armageddon pack, right?
No, it wasn't.
At the moment, these guys have not changed.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is that the new land speeder's in there. And
it's 95, by the way, which is good. Land speeder's good. Really like the land speeder. Big fan.
Goes to 105 if you take 3.
Yep, don't do that. Just take 2.
Take 2.
Take 2. Take 2 and take 2 storm speeders. 2 of these ones. 2 of these ones, 2 of those ones. You'll solve most of your shooting problems in most armies, and also all of your cover problems.
Yep. Shoot and scoot is good, and the land speeder has an eye-watering number of shots.
Shoot and scoot with tow in is incredible.
Yeah,
all right, let's do another army that I'm mad about. I'm mad about a lot of these changes.
You're always mad.
I am always mad, except when I'm really happy, and I do prefer it when I'm really happy.
All right, so we're going to talk about Thousand Suns?
Tower next, right?
No, they don't exist.
Unfortunately, they do.
We can pretend like they don't exist.
They do always get to win the defender role as well. Crazy army rule that.
Not my problem.
It's certainly mine. Okay, Tau only got nerfs, and I just can't believe that this is it.
Scroll up.
Twin Lance went up 20 points, which means almost nothing. The Missile Knights and Flamer Star Sides went up 10 points,
because they reduced
but
the base cost on them.
the Plasma Fire Knives and Burst Cannon Star Sides went down 20, which is insane because these are already like these ones, especially the Burst Cannon Star Sides, were already fine. Plasma
Yeah.
Fire Knives, I kind of get, they're not that good.
Yeah, usually running missiles, right?
Piranhas went up 5 points and 10 points for the third one. Fine. Warshipper went up 10 points, and Pathfinders with iron rifles went up plus 5 points if you take all 3 iron rifles. If you only take 2 or 2 in a rail, I believe they're the same. And if you play just rails, they're actually a little cheaper.
Wait, that's such a weird way of doing it.
Yeah, no, this is just written weirdly, right? Like the base unit is now 80 points, and each iron rifle is 5, as opposed to right now where they are 90, and they are 90 when either warrior. So if you run them with triple rails, they're actually 10 points cheaper, which I don't think is an appropriate way to balance that unit.
Huh. Yeah, that
Like they
mm,
the crazy thing with that unit is, right, okay, and hear me out on this one. I know that they said that every unit that has scout and infiltrate is going up 10 points, or is going down points, right? And they did say that every unit that had that is going down points. But this unit doesn't always even have scout and infiltrate. It's a warrior choice that you don't have to take, and
yeah, you
people
just take the
didn't
grav inhibitor
always
drone
take.
instead and be -2 to charge. And oh
People
no, this is gonna really suck.
definitely did just take that warrior option in like 1 or 2 of in their ret cadre and modcon lists, because
Yeah,
you
because he
didn't
only
need
had one
3
forward.
units with that. It would have been Look, I think it would have been totally fine for these guys to just be 90 points base and 5 points for the iron rifles, and they would have been fine because these guys would have
So
been
the
great
interesting
still,
thing is
and they're
that
still great.
it does say per ion rifle in the MFM.
Yeah, it does. So
Okay.
the article, the Goonhammer article, is written assuming that, so if you bring 3, they are plus 5 points relative to what they used to be. But
Okay.
if you only bring 2, they're the same, and if you bring none, they're 10.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes
They've
more
just
sense.
not listed that they're less if you don't bring iron rifles. It's a
Yeah,
weird
okay,
way
that
to
makes more
write it.
sense.
You can kind of When you read the Goonhammer articles, you can kind of tell which ones were phoned in and which ones were written by people who really care about their factions. Uh, like it's
I mean, the line right after that is, "I'm grasping at straws for stuff that matters here."
okay. Buffs. Farsight came down 5 points. Farsight also notably got significantly buffed this edition because his rule is if you're within 9, get +1 to wound, and he drops within 9 now,
Yep.
which is why did he go down because of that? I don't know. Neither do
And he can
you.
also go
Let's
through
find out
walls
soon.
now.
Yep. And then we have the high yield missile pod broadside 3-man squads came down 15 points. The unit that we already played in triplicate
And the
with
rail rifle one came down 30.
30. We already played these. We played
I
2
don't
squads of
know.
these in some builds.
I don't
What
know.
the fuck is going on?
I don't know.
And then
Yeah.
Sunforges apparently also needed to come down 15, 15, and 5 points for the 3 units, while also again gaining the ability to drop in, like not in melter range for Tau specifically, but in +1 AP range in Ret Cadre, which is a
Right,
2
because it's
DP
9-inch now, right?
for some reason. Yeah, I mean you can run them in Ret Cadre plus experimental to get them in half range. I don't think, because they're both battle suit, right? So you can't do that. But in experimental they can drop in melter range, and in Ret Cadre they can drop in +1 AP range, which pushes them to 5, which is nuts. Nuts, stupid,
Yeah, I
stupid,
don't like that.
stupid. I don't like Tau. I don't think Tau. I think Tau are my pick for the second best army after Chaos Space Marines right now.
And then the Skyray also went down 10 because that was definitely not seeing any play.
No, the Skyray was awful. I'm sure Glenn is not incredibly excited.
At least the
Also,
Riptide didn't
like
go down.
the Riptide, you can just play burst cannons. It's not like the burst cannon's terrible.
Yeah, but all right, what's the Riptide burst cannon profile off the top of your head?
It's 12 shots at 612. Right?
So it's like a third of a Gat Knight.
Yeah, but it's on a Riptide, which is much significantly more
Yeah.
mobile and has once per game devastating wounds. 6-inch melt range still won't work because you have to drop outside 6, and their melt range is 12, so they will not get that outside of XP.
Yep.
So even with that, they still don't get it, but they would get the +1 strength and +1.
Archon Rahal. Reminder: Skyrays and Hammerheads are 140 points, and Castigators are 160.
Yeah, I think I'm fine with that. Castigators are broken in the new edition. The AP1 is so crazy relative to what it used to be. They're so
And
good
extra
now.
AP is really good. So.
Also, Army of Faith has them all just hitting on 3s anyway for 1 CP, so who needs a guide
Yeah,
when you
that
have a
those
Seraphim?
strats need to.
The fact that those strats don't prevent you from strat stacking as well, it's crazy because they're
Because yeah,
targeting
you
the
have one jump
Seraphim, not
pack
the
unit here,
unit.
one jump pack unit here. You would use it here, and it affects
Yep.
everything.
Although I will say every Army of Faith player I play cheats by using their ignore mod strat whenever they want, not in their command phase like an adult. Easy done.
That and
I know.
every Ironstorm player.
Look, it's easy to do. All right, who's up next? We have T-Suns. Also, probably not enough nerfs, but I've been saying that a lot, so maybe I'm just wrong.
No, I actually agree with this one. T-Suns are in too good of a spot.
T-Suns got a lot of nerfs. This is a lot of nerfs, right? I want to start by saying that, but I still kind of don't care.
So they got a lot of nerfs, but a lot of them are kind of like whatever nerfs.
Yeah.
So
my
like
favorite thing here, every single time that we've read this Heldrake one, the author has had a completely different authorial voice about this irrelevant change. There's just been
I just whatever. Heldrakes are cool, and you'll see them now. Maybe, probably not.
You won't.
Yeah, like
But that's okay.
the nerf section here is long, but it was also Rob who wrote this. Rob plays T-Suns, and I can say right now they're in a fine spot. Forge Fiend's going up 5 points for a unit that hands out -1 to hit after it's shot.
Yeah,
When the
these things are
Hades
135. I
autocannons
thought these were
are AP.
170, like the Chaos Space Marine ones, and I was still looking at playing them.
No, they were 130 before.
I know. They're really obnoxious.
They're now
I
135
have
or
definitely had a few
150 for
builds where
the
I'm like
third one.
looking at my third Defiler and Chaos Space Marine, like, oh, that could just be 3 Forge Fiends and just doing that instead.
Mm-hmm.
And that's correct. You should do that. You should probably not play 3 Defilers and Thousand Suns. You should play 2 and 3 Forge Fiends.
Well,
I
and
actually
that's
have
the thing.
2
The
Forge
list
Fiends
that
on
I
screw
was running
somewhere in that
before
pile
for
behind.
T-Suns was 3 Defilers and 2 Forge Fiends, and I think I just swap a Defiler for a Forge Fiend and get another tank.
Chaos Knights.
Magical Chaos Knights. Ton of fun.
Put on your Roving Wizard
Like
hat.
Magnus went up 20, but whatever. He ignores mods.
Magnus is very good now.
He ignores all
Notably,
mods.
I
He
will
doesn't
say
drag
Magnus
it.
does have like a tiny little bit of anti-synergy now with his defenses in Grand Coven, and is a little harder to hide. In Grand
What's
Coven
wrong with his
specifically,
defenses in Grand Coven?
well, he can't re-roll a save and blank a save, so he does like
Oh yeah,
critical
sure.
existence failure a little easier now.
I'm fine with that.
I'm fine with it as well, but it is knowable. Also, one of his guns did already ignore cover.
Sure.
Yeah, Defilers caught the same change. Defilers, notably, T-Sun's ones are the best Overwatchers, and
Yeah, because they can still Overwatch on Force.
Like the thing that you used to get, like you used to get a little bit of surety around the Defiler. Like, okay, it's popped this Overwatch, now I can do the rest of my stuff. Now it's just like, no, the specter of the Overwatch hangs over your entire turn now, which is a little scary.
Rubrics go 10 points to pay 10 points more for your fourth. They're the other battle line unit that has
you don't
attacks on.
care.
That's fine, because usually you're taking 3. If you're taking a fourth one, it's because you absolutely want to build around that, and 10 points is whatever.
Yeah, and then most of the rest of the stuff is just like this unit gained ignore modifiers automatically. It's so probably okay.
Yeah, because T-Suns are the psychic army, so most of their shit now just ignores cover.
This as a 2 might be not good.
I can say right now that Hex Warp as a 2 is also not good.
Yes, these could probably both be 3s, and it would not.
Because what you can do now is you can take Ritual Regeneration, which gives you Purge.
Yep, you're just like, I don't have any units that can use this. If my Zangor Shaman takes some damage, I guess I'll heal it.
You can literally take the old Hex Warp build with 30 Scarabs, or 20 Scarabs and 3 Demon Princes, and just slap on healing.
Yep, or you can just like take the Geordie list from the end of 10th edition, the Jordan McGregor list with like triple Defiler, triple Forge Fiend, double Mauler Fiend, and just be like, and 1 Defiler leaves, and I don't care because
1 Defiler leaves, and I add in 8 2x4 Sekitar, and I run the Sekitar cohort instead because
and now
they're psychic and ignore covers. Let's do it.
Yeah. This is also a crazy 1 defeat detachment.
It's so much fun.
Yeah, can an army get better if most of its unit go up in cost? Yeah, Thousand Suns also.
The answer is a resounding yes. Yeah, it's just they are by far probably the strongest winner in terms of the overall.
Did Vindies just get ignored? Yeah, mostly. No one's really playing 3 Vindicators anyway.
Yeah, they
Oh yeah,
didn't
the plus.
change it all.
Yeah, Warforged did get that one nerf where it's 2 CP strat for psychic and +1 to wound is now, or it's 1 CP strat for psychic and +1 to wound is now 2 CP. So it's
Good.
only ignore mods and +1 to wound for 2 CP. That seems like a good stratagem. Would you pay for that stratagem, Jeremy?
Yeah, I was paying 1 CP when it was +1 to wound. If I also now ignore all mods, then yes, I'm gonna be like,
Yeah.
"Oh, my Defiler's bracketed and and you're in cover? Don't care."
Damn good deal. Yeah, I also think psychic maybe shouldn't ignore bracketing, but that's a separate conversation.
Psychic shouldn't ignore mods.
I'm
Like, just
okay with
take that
psychic. I
away.
think it would have been okay if psychic was ignore cover.
You know what? That I'd be okay with.
I
Because
don't
the idea
think it
of
needed
cover
to
being
be.
like but at the same time, like, it's still my mind reaching out, and if I can't see you properly, then I'm probably not gonna mind you as well.
So the Warhound Titan is still 1100 points, and I still don't see any forces deficiency here, Jeremy.
And I
So
say once again, go look at your precious W
look, I'm just
TC
saying that if I
pack.
rocked up to Warhammer World with an event for a Warhammer World tournament,
You would lose every game 18-2.
I definitely wouldn't, because on some of those games I'd go first and score some secondaries.
All right, so 16-4.
Also,
Congratulations.
in a number of those games, I would go first and activate a Warhound at my opponent, right? That's not a bad thing. That's not a bad deal. For
Yeah.
anyone who doesn't know, Titan Legions don't have force disposition. So if you play Titan Legions, there is no terrain or primary in your game. You will lose all of them, but you will confuse your opponent greatly. Um, all right, who's up next? We have
Tyranids, I think.
Tyranids. Oh, okay, guys, we're done. Thank you so much for being.
uh kind of sad, really.
I didn't
So
mind the nid changes too much.
so gargoyles went down 5 or 10. They can't shoot and scoot anymore. Hiveguard went down 10 and
Can't
20
deep
because
strike, shoot, and scoot. They still
sorry,
very much can shoot and scoot.
yeah. They can't deep strike, shoot and scoot to like get on objectives
Yeah,
or
they're
extend your
definitely a
screens or
lot worse
anything
in
like that.
Final Day specifically now, but in like regular Terrans, I think they're still like if
Yeah.
you were playing them before, which most people weren't, we had broadly moved to Hormagaunts and Termagants instead and just play better. But yeah, Gargoyles are still really good. 2-inch engagement range does and heroic does make them a lot worse as well. Any of these kind of like just try to pin you in move block units do struggle a lot with new heroic, so I'm not that
Yes.
surprised to see these guys go down.
Hiveguard went down 10 and 20.
No
Shock
one
cannons
cares.
are kind of interesting.
They're still not.
Swarm went down 10.
Yeah, I think Stormlord is really good. 210 is solid.
Yeah.
He still doesn't do anything, but he ignores cover on his gun now because it's a flamer. So
And he gives you CP.
he does all good things.
And he has Vect, which even with the Vect changes is still impactful.
I agree.
Norn assimilators went down 25, but notably both Norn assimilators and emissaries now tax on the second one, so they actually get quite expensive really fast.
I think relative to where they were, though, they're like the same price, right?
How much was an emissary before?
Well, if they came down 25 and they only up 20,
Well, the emissary only went the difference between the emissary and base it's 250 and 270. Was it like 275 before?
they're both 250 now.
Okay.
So yeah, I guess I think the Norn is 250 just now.
Okay.
Or let me just look it up. I'm gonna just talk on my ass. I've not played a Norn in a while. Currently the Norn emissary is 250, and the Norn assimilator, somewhat hilariously, is more expensive and
I
is
remember that.
is now, but is sorry. These are just both now 250 because my app is updated. What the fuck am I talking about? I don't have. What do I like? I'm opening my app to look at the old points that don't exist. I need to go and look at my 39k. I'm like, oh yeah, my it costs the same now. Yeah, the Norn emissary previously was 260. So the first one is 10 points cheaper. The second one is the same points relative. The two of them are 260, and the third one would be 10 points more expensive. You would have paid 10 more. The Norn assimilator is currently 275, and even with the points even with the points tax, the second and third one would still be 5 points cheaper. So
Okay.
they're
So
20
that's
and
actually
5,
quite nice.
5, and 5 cheaper. The other thing that's of note here for Norn specifically is the assimilator has a really, really good upgrade that makes it almost a Norn, which is to say that the enhancement in Talons of the Norn Queen to give it a 5 invulnerable save is 25 points. So for the same points as they used to cost, they gain a 4 invulnerable save, which I think is genuinely pretty solid because
That's pretty good.
I
Hey,
do like the Norn assimilator.
Von Innes Sleepers went down 10 and 20 points.
Yep, I might actually paint some at some point. I have 21 of them, so maybe I should paint some of them. I might just batch paint
You were
them and
talking
drive
about
myself mad.
last night.
Yeah, I was hoping they would go down, so I'm glad they did. Yeah, 20 model Termagants and Hermagant unit came down, which Honestly, I think there's maybe still a world where you're just like, and I'm gonna play 120 once again, and just
There's a
fucking
gaunt
nobody's
carpet.
gonna
Let's
have
go.
fun. It's still honestly not that bad.
Yep. In terms of nerfs, the Tyranid Prime with Lash Whip went up 10.
Good. That guy was really good. He probably didn't need to gain 8 attacks and the ability to go down 20 points. So I think
It was
splitting
funny
the
when they
difference
did
and coming
both
back to 10.
all of the things that we suggested to make him playable instead of just like one of them.
Yep. Blood Surgers are like net a little stronger than they used to be. They're relative
With engagement range being 2
traditionally
inches, they
stronger.
are net better.
Yeah, they get in an inch of extra engagement range, but they have a more limitation on how they're used. I
Because
think
they
for a
had to
unit like
finish in
Cormorant that is
engagement
happy
range
to
if
just
possible.
jam, this is really good. The Maliceptor went up 10, fine. Not going
Ignores
to complain.
cover.
It's
It
like
benefits from cover more because it basically just had an invuln.
and it's -1 to hit in a 6-inch aura, which does stack with cover itself. It is
Yep.
hard to use, but it does exist. Neuralichters went up 10 and 20 for the third. Who was playing 3 Neuralichters?
I don't know.
But okay, 80 points, fine, I'll pay it. It's a 7 wound 4 invulnerable save lone operative. I'm not going to complain. The Winged Hive Tyrant went up 15, which seems odd because this guy wasn't very good, and he's still only movement 12, and he still has a wingspan the size of Magnus. So I don't think this is a great model, but we shall
I don't
see.
know.
Neurotyrant went up plus 10 points and also got nerfed because Big Guns Never Tyrant doesn't confer to the Zoanthrope unit, which I think is a little sad. Big Guns Never Tire is vehicle monster model now, not vehicle model monster unit. So the
How it should
Zoanthropes
have.
lose big guns. It should have
How it
been,
should have
but
always been, but yeah.
they were pointed around that. I think Zoanthropes could have gone down in points to commensurate that, but
Just don't
that's
get
fine.
tagged.
There's also a bunch of stuff that went up for points for the second ones, like X Greens and Tyrannifexes. Also, Tyrannifexes went down 20 points base, but it's 10 points for the Acid Spray and 20 points for the Rupture Cannon. So if you were playing a Flesh Borer Hive for some reason, first of all, sorry, and who hurt you, and were you dropped on your head as a child? I really hope you're okay, and
Be nice,
if
Innis.
you need help, reach out. But the Acid Spray one I really like now. 190 for that model. It's got a really good flamer. It's D6 plus 6 shots is 622. It benefits from cover now. Like I think if you're playing something like the Matt Langton style Subterranean Assault list, and you wanted to get away from like, I just got to roll a bunch of 7-inch charges now, but you still want to play like that kind of build, that version of it might be the way to go. Where it's like it's playing rapid ingresses and it's playing like triple Tyrannifex and just going shoot you. Maybe you don't play 3, you still play 2, you play like an extra Execrane or something like that. But it seems like the kind of space that Subterranean Assault could find some power still. Plus, Red Terror is a very good model. Notably here, Red Terror didn't go up in points. Neither did the Hyperadapted Raveners, and those are both very strong units in the new edition, in my experience.
I really like the Hyper Adapted with all the changes.
Yeah. Some fun things to try for NIDS, just to shout out. Invasion Fleet's still very solid, as is Subterranean Assault. I've played a bit of Crusher Stampede plus Ambush Predators, which has been really cool, and a bit of Crusher Stampede plus Talons of the Northern Queen has popped across my list roster. Vanguard Onslaught plus Warrior Bioform is also really, really interesting. I think Tyranids made out fine.
Yep. All right. One more and we're done.
One more. Okay. Talking about armies that didn't get enough changes, but for the other direction for a change.
Oh, poor World Eaters. 20 men Corn Berserkers went down 15.
Do you think games
they are actually really hit?
They
are hit quite hard by the
everything changes.
Fighting.
Yeah. They still have their 3-inch engagement range, but it's not even that big a buff anymore. It's only an inch buff now, not a 2-inch.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah, that's true. But that's only if they're being led by Pony Boy.
Yeah, which you probably still would, because movement 10 is still really strong. But
yeah, if you're playing a 20 men, Helldrake went down 25. Don't care. Blood Crushers got the same change. The Defiler is 20 points cheaper base than the like other Cult Marines. It's fine.
The Baleflamer Electroscourge one at 270 is still pretty solid, and you can just like play that guy, and he's okay. And you can still do the double all cannons one, and it's only 290 points. Like it's not that expensive. They're just really good. They're also movement 14, which like relative to the board states now, like does make it very easy
to
activating.
That is fair. That is quite fast. And their ability is pretty funny.
Yeah.
Their ability is a free heroic now, basically.
Mm-hmm. A free 12-inch heroic.
Yeah.
That you could stack with actual heroic. You could try both. You could try twice if your opponent messed up.
Try 3 times if you had 2 Defilers in range.
You can try 5 times if you're cheating. Bloodthirster went up 15 because he went up in demons. Karn the Betrayer went up 15 because he's in every list, and Battle Lust got buffed to being +1 to charge, and then also gets you,
So
and
this
then because
basically gives you +2 to charge.
yeah, because the base buff for reroll charges for World Eaters got changed to +1 to charge, so it's now +2 to charge, which +2 to charge is a good buff. Like,
Yeah. Not listed here also is Angron went up 10, which sure,
he did get better.
he did. He's a lot more mobile without getting the mobile keyword.
I mean, mobile keyword would be good. We would love the mobile keyword. Yeah, because Battle Lust now gives you reroll charges and +1 to charge while the blessing is active, and the blessing gives you +1 to charge. So it still gives reroll charges, and then it also gives another +1 on top of that. So yeah, good. Happy with all of this stuff. I think that the changes, the nerfs all seem fine. There just needed to be more buffs here.
Yeah.
Like, I think I'm okay with the Defiler going up. I'm okay with Karn going up. I'm okay with Battlist going up. I just also think that like 8-bound could have come down, and maybe 10-man Corn Berserkers could have come down, and maybe honestly because like they're worse with Rhinos now because Rhinos are more fragile and harder to use and more explosive, and maybe you could have put the points down on the Jackal squad that screens your backfield because it doesn't screen as much distance anymore, and that was all it was doing, and all these kinds of things that could have changed, but
Yeah.
they didn't.
Yeah. I think all right. So where do we sit after all of this?
Well, I mean, this was called 10 things I hate about you, and the 10 things I hate about you is the 10 armies that they didn't nerf enough.
All right. Tau, Thousand Suns,
Tau,
CSM,
CSM, I think honestly Emperor's Children, Defiler as well.
so Death Guard as well.
Yeah, I think Sisters honestly probably could have done with more. I wish Drukhari had gotten more nerfs. I wish Imperial Knights had gotten more nerfs. I might be hitting my limit there. Oh, Scintillating Legion, Chaos Demons. I think Lords of Change should have gone up more. Necrons.
There's your 10.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm happy with that. And then
Well,
like there's a bunch of stuff I like here, right? There's a lot of good stuff here. The thing I've been saying to people, behind the scenes is this is going to be a really great game in 3 months' time once the first balance patches have happened, where like
yep.
the sharp edges get taken off the front, the
It's
underperforming
also going to be
dispositions get buffed a little bit, a couple of dispositions get changed, and then it's going to be fine.
it's also
Once
going to
that
be a
happens.
much faster transition than those
Yeah,
than if people are remembering what happened 3
for
years
sure.
ago with the launch of 10th, because we're not coming from Index. We're not coming with a fresh set of
We're
core rules, a
also
fresh set.
not coming from Wraith Knights overwatching me to death at the top of one every game, right? Like, I'm gonna play against every single one of these armies that are really good, and I'm gonna play a game.
Yeah,
Maybe I'm gonna get tabled on turn 3 by Monka Tau that went first on their board choice a little bit too often for my liking. But honestly, they were doing that in 10th. I'm kind of used to it. My Overwatch is a little better against them now if I have a good one. And if I can at least get them to guide, at least Riptides don't ignore ballistic skill changes.
they said that they were going to
Um,
be doing an update at the end of July or in July. I don't think know if they said end or
I think
in
they
July.
said toward the end of July, which
Yeah.
I'm
So I
hoping
would
means
I would
22nd, so
expect
it's in 3
probably
months.
the last day of July, because every time they say that, it's always like it'll be towards the
It's
end of
going to be the
April.
29th, and it's not going to be legal for WTC, and it's going to be really annoying.
WTC will be a dead meta. I mean, probably would have been anyways because things move so fast right now, but it'll still be fun.
Yeah, it probably will be, but I'm just going to have to deal with that.
I'm just saying, have it in May.
I would love to. I voted for that. I voted for May, and then I voted for June as the fallback option. And no, it's stuck in August because do you know what the weird thing is that weirdly all the people who go to the event in August vote for it to stay in August because it's when they're free. But all the people who couldn't go to the event because it's in August don't get to vote for it to be in May.
Are you implying that it's a poisoned vote every time it's held?
It is a poison vote every time it's held, and it's a bad vote every time it's held because the people who are encouraged to keep it as the way it is because they can go to it will vote for it to be the way it is because they can go to it. Weird that. Anyway, this is not the place for meta politics. This is going to be a great game in 3 months' time. For the
Yeah.
time being,
The core bones of it are
yeah.
great. The missions are
It's-
interesting. The points are kind of not where they need to be right now, and it's
Carson, in all my testing with and against Sisters so far, that has not been the case. Sisters have plenty of Miracle Dice and still beat you over the head with Sacrosands. And it sucks. I hate it. It took me 4 turns to kill Junith with an Elder Army. I was like +1 to wound, firing like a Seer Council brick and a Dark Reaper squad at them for like 4 straight turns and charging them and stuff, and they took me 4 turns to kill them. It was absurd. Um, yeah, this is gonna be a great meta in 3 months' time once the balance matches happened. But I think for the time being, it's gonna be a Riptide Defiler Night World, and we're just gonna have to deal with that, and that's fine. Like at least we know that, right? You have the ability to look at what the metagame is presenting you and say, oh, Purge the Foe is probably a little overtuned, and these armies are a little overtuned. I now can go and look at my dispositions and find a way to play the game that plays into that, that makes me comfortable with the way that I play tournaments. And that's fine. It's probably more of a statement on Eldar. It might be, but also if Eldar like this is another thing that like I need to remember you need to remember as a perspective is that the average army should be able to handle a stat check, right? Like that's just if an average army can't handle a stat check, the stat check has to be nerfed. That's just how this works because you shouldn't be able to present a stat check that every reasonable army in the game can't resolve. Otherwise, the game is bad.
Yep.
So yeah, if I couldn't, as an Eldar army, deal with that, why the Dark Eldar hate? Because I hate them. What do you want from me? I'm not like you guys need to remember here, right? We're not neutral commentators. I am Innes Wilson, the Warhammer player. That is who I am, and everything that I say on this show is from my perspective. And you, as the person listening to our review, get to judge my perspective and say whether you agree with it or not. And you, as a player, might decide that I play the game in a way that is similar to the way that Innes plays, or the way that Jeremy plays, or the way that Anthony plays, or the way that Vic VJ and David Gaylord play, or the way that John Lennon plays. And you can go and listen to the commentators that play the games in the way that align with your expectations and say, oh, this player that plays the game like me likes this thing, I'll probably like that thing. Oh, they don't like this thing. Oh, I might need to make sure that I'm read up on that so I can play against it better because I need to. But like, you could also be like, well, I don't agree with this person. They play an army the way I don't like, and I don't play that way. But why did they say that? Right? We are not neutral parties. We are like, I am bringing all of my biases to this, and I fucking hate losing to Scourges. They piss me off. The two of my highest profile losses in 2025 were against Scourges with Scary and Sako. Drives me up the fucking wall. I can't stand that Daishi. I hate
Yeah,
them.
it's
I
like
hate them as much as
it's
I
like
hate
me and
orcs.
Eldari hate. Like
Yep.
I at the beginning of 10th was being routinely just skull dragged by Eldari, and I could not find a way to beat them. And I just got fed up with them, and I just basically have ever since been on a campaign against them ever being good again.
Yep. And I think Drakari, I hate him. But yeah, we're not balanced commentators. We have no obligation either, for what it's worth, to be balanced and nuanced commentators. We are allowed to say whatever we want. You are allowed to decide not to listen to us if we say some shit that's out of pocket, right? You don't have to listen to or agree with everything we say. We are presenting you an
And
opinion,
I mean,
and that's okay.
if we were completely neutral on everything, you wouldn't be listening to us. Let's be honest.
Exactly. There are, you can go and read this article yourself. You came here to listen to us talk about it, right? Like that's what we're here for. Hey, I think I lost like 8 games last year in tournaments.
That's insane.
It's something like that.
This is what?
I've only lost 2 this year, if that helps. And they were both 2 weeks ago.
Both to the same person.
June. So yeah, no, there's a reason I'm very miffed at Defilers. I lost to Defilers. What the fuck?
Yeah, but you were
I don't
playing
lose.
Defilers.
I know. That
They let
doesn't
you
mean
down?
that doesn't mean I'm like I said this earlier. I'm allowed to cry while winning, right? That's okay. So anyway, yeah, like you have to judge the things we say. You don't just take everything we say at face value. We have opinions. We're allowed to bring those to the show. You would be so bored if we didn't. We're here to tell you what we think about these changes, not what's correct about these changes, because there's no such thing as what's correct about these changes. Perception makes the metagame as much as anything else. Do you know what? I'm willing to bet, hand on heart, that triple Land Raider Custodes plus 20 something guard would have been broken a year and a half ago as well, but no one played it because no one played it.
I'd agree.
Like it would have been a little worse because Fuegan existed, but I honestly think that 3 Land Raiders might be overloading that Eldar army when that was good. But no one played it because no one played it until someone did. And that matters just as much as anything else. So I think that's what we have for you guys today. If you enjoyed this content, this 3 hour marathon of talking about the new edition, thank you so much for being with us. We're going to continue to make even more stat check bonus content for the 11th edition. I'm going to try and get something proper recorded for the Patreon behind the scenes this weekend. Maybe I'll do like a 5 armies to watch, or like a composition for each of the 5 armies that people vote on in chat or something like that. I'll maybe like throw something up in the Patreon Discord. If you'd like to support us this month, you can check out patreon.com/statcheck or YouTube membership. There's the link in the box below. Everything that we raise this month is going to our pride causes. They are linked in our Discord, and we mentioned them on the live show. It's 1 a.m. I'm not looking them up. But we're raising money for a variety of pride-related causes throughout the month of June. All the money that we make through StatCheck is going towards that. Thank you to James for his super chat earlier. We really do appreciate that. He sent in £100 that we're going to put towards that. And yeah, it's a busy month for us to be doing that. So we're excited to be able to raise a bunch of money relative. We've done this for the last couple of years, and we raised a good couple $1,000s last year, I want to say. So hopefully we can do even better this month. With all that said, if you enjoyed this, please do remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Do all the usual engagement stuff. If you want to chat with us in the Discord about it, or you want to chat with any of us personally, check that out. I'm not going to plug all the other social stuff here. There's some links in the description if you want to check our sponsors and coaching and other shows and things like that. But if you do want to hear more from us, every Tuesday at 11 p.m. UK time, 6 p.m. Eastern, we are live with the Stat Check live show. Hopefully, we'll have Anthony back at some point. I know I will be missing a show in a couple of weeks because I'm going to the States. I'm going to be in the States over the 4th of July. It's going to be a very interesting weekend. But we shall see how everything goes. I hope everyone's having a good time. Jeremy, anything you want to finish up with?
Not too much. Kara thanks for the kind words. I would like to be less scarce, but like I said at the beginning of the show, I've been having a lot of health problems lately. And so I basically just do these things when I can. Hey, Mikey, thanks for joining us. Go everyone check out Mikey's streams because they are always good for a laugh.
Mikey's the best drama reporter we have in 40K, and I love him for it.
And he's a good person. I like him.
He is a good person. I've known Mikey for like almost 10 years at this point, so weird to say. Weird to have been in the hobby that long, I think. All right, guys, thanks so much for being with us. We're going to end the show here. I'm going to bed because I have coaching calls in the morning. Weirdly shocking that at the start of the edition, people want a bunch of new coaching calls. Hey, thanks also for the $20 super chat, Mikey. Great to have you on board, and enjoy the rest of your evening. All right, guys, thanks so much. Nathan's not here to say the bye-bye, so we'll just have to wing it without it.